Hey everybody, so unfortunately we had a technical issue with the sound on this episode. You'd think that we'd have it figured out by now, but David was such a great guest and there's a ton of funny stuff in here still, so definitely still worth checking out. So apologies to David for the mishap. All right, let's get on with the show.
Welcome to the Dangerville podcast.
Like we always do about this time. The greatest show of all time.
What's up, man?
How's it going?
My headphones are a little whack. I gotta turn them up a sec. Okay, that's better. Nice to meet you, dude. Thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. This is incredible.
For sure.
I love it. So officially got the clacker.
Yeah, well, yeah. We had to, we just had a video that we were just telling you, like, so we're on, like, episode 5 or 6 or something with video, so we're still working out some kinks.
It's all very official. The only part we're missing is the audience.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's tip-top
We
operation
can
for
load
sure.
some people in here, man. They can watch from the balcony. That'd be great.
A Bangladeshi click farm seemed like a pretty good option right about now for sure. Let's pump those numbers, juice them up through the roof. That's the
It's
move,
actually
I
not a bad idea, though, because some people, it's like a fucking, when they do surgery and they got the...
Oh, yeah, they had the glass up top. You watch
What do you
Grey's
call that
Anatomy.
shit? No, I do not. Shh, come on, man. I'm trying to keep my credibility here.
It's more of an ER guy.
More of an ER guy. Oh, George Clooney.
I mean, Clooney,
ER,
man.
yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
Anthony Edwards.
Goose? Or,
The
Goose, right?
original heartthrobs, you know?
Fuck yeah. So, how long you been doing stand-up comedy?
Yeah, so I started stand-up comedy January of 2018, so
Oh, okay.
coming up on 7 years, but 6 total, and of course a couple of those years are through the pandemic.
Right,
It was
right.
crazy.
2018 is like, it just seems like last year.
It feels like
I don't know
last
what
decade.
people are like, it's not to me, it's like, oh, it was 2018. I'm like, oh, so it was like
My
last year.
calculations are correct. It's approximately 6 years ago.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that ballpark.
Seems like it was not that. Like, even like when people are like, yeah, it was like 2010. I'm like, oh, so it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah, it is weird.
Does it seem like that to you? I don't know, maybe not. But I think part of that was because of the pandemic, maybe, or something. But
Time is relative, man.
time is crazy.
Time is relative.
The one that gets me when, talking about like late 90s or whatever, though, it still
Yeah.
feels like not that long ago. It's
Yeah,
like, oh, it
that's
was
what I'm saying.
fucking
Yeah.
25 years or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
like
ridiculous.
2000. Like, yeah, that was 2000.
You know what my kids told me the other day? They were like, what were the late 1900s like?
Yeah, I know.
I was
That's like,
like,
yeah, it's like, what?
Who are you?
So weird. It's like, well, there was steam trains.
Tell us tales about the olden world.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't have a phone until I graduated college, and they're
Yeah.
like, what?
The phone was a thing on the wall.
Oh, I remember when like our friends would call
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
and they had to go through the parents first. The parents would scream.
Yeah, isn't that
Oh,
a
yeah.
weird
Calls,
thing?
yeah. They're like,
yeah.
why are you calling?
Uh-huh.
We had the rotary phone when I was
Oh,
little.
for sure,
Old
dude.
Old
Yeah,
school.
started
Oh,
with the
man.
rotary. You had to call and ask, fucking, hi, is so-and-so there,
We could only talk to my grandma for 10 minutes because you got charged extra for long distance. So my mom was like, get off the phone! It's costing us money!
I just didn't want you talking to grandma.
Yeah, I know, right?
She's kind of losing her mind.
I was gonna totally rat out my parents for sure. I was like, you don't know what they're doing to me over here.
Grandma's long. I got days left to live, guys. But yeah, these long distance
It's gonna
bills.
be a $4 bill on this here fucking AT&T coming through right now.
Yeah, we're only paying 97 cents for gas. We can afford.
Indeed.
We can afford long distance back then.
Yep.
It really is, and probably every generation and era feels like there's been so much change. But like, man, the last handful, like we're going through wild shit. We're
It's the
basically
weirdest.
internet for the most part. Like it was
Our
there, but
generation's
not like
one of the
ubiquitous.
weirdest,
Yeah.
dude. Starting without it, growing up with it,
Yep.
and then the aftermath, you could say, it's still changing or whatever, but like, there's only one generation that's pre-internet to the invention of the internet, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And that's us. It's weird.
Yeah.
Like,
you
I guess
guys are later millennials. Do you hate it when people call you that?
It's weird because it depends on what,
You're like, yeah.
it depends on what
Asshole.
chart you look at. Yeah, we're
Oh,
either,
don't even do that's
we're
this
either
is exactly what
millennials or something.
millennials say. No. Don't even be like, I'm a cusper. No.
Is that a thing? Is that what people say? A cusper?
Yeah,
I've never heard
cusper.
that. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because it was so funny. We were doing one of these at work. We were doing like a generational panel. And so the person that got onto the panel was like, I'm Gen X. And we put the slides up. And he was like, I'm not a millennial. No.
His whole life,
Oh my
the color
gosh.
grades from his face and shit.
He was so mad. And then, of course, I made the joke where he was like, no, I'm not a millennial. I'm like, that's what a millennial would say. And
The same joke you just made.
Oh, yeah. And then afterwards, she's like, I need to talk to you. I was like, oh,
Like, oh,
jeez, here we
fuck.
go.
Little did you know when he
involved.
was referring to Gen X, he was talking about his orientation, not his age that he grew up in.
I was like, you can identify with whatever. Who cares?
I don't even know the order. That's the thing. I don't even know what is what. Like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be. I don't know what the
I think
order
it's
is.
Boomers, Gen X, maybe?
Yeah.
And that's like
Then
80s,
millennials.
90s.
Millennials.
Then is there Gen Z
There
after
is Gen
that?
Z.
Okay.
And then there's a new one, and maybe
Gen
this is the same as Gen Z, but there's
Y or
a
something?
Zoomers thing.
The
I heard.
Zoomers?
Well, it's really Generation Alpha that's coming up, so...
That sounds way too badass
Yeah,
for
but
this.
Yeah, how do they
they're
get
going back to the
Generation
beginning of
What?
the alphabet.
What are they, commandos? What is this? What? They're not special forces. How the fuck do they get Generation Alpha?
Well, I love that we got Gen... So I'm a Gen Xer, right? So I was born in the 70s.
That's a good one. Yeah,
That's a good one
yeah.
because if you remember, well, you guys won't remember. We're pretty close in age, but during when
I
we were
don't
growing
know.
up, it was all this like extreme, like it was
Yeah.
extreme
Yeah.
everything.
There's a lot of
Extreme
Mountain Dew, a
deodorant,
lot of
yeah.
Baja Blast.
The X Games.
Baja Blast was everywhere.
It really was.
You know.
Dude, I remember Jolt. Jolt was like
Oh,
the
yeah.
original.
Cola, dude, yeah.
Surge, you remember the Surge commercials back in the day?
That
That big
was
mustache
toxic.
Surge.
That was
Yeah.
toxic.
That stuff was nuclear horse piss for sure. It was not good.
We got it. I think they brought it back.
Oh yeah,
We
Surge is still
we
alive
got
and
a
kicking, baby.
stock Surge
Yeah.
for the pod. That's
Oh
all we're
my
drinking.
God.
Surge only
No,
podcast.
Surge only.
Surge
dude.
and Zima. That's it. Surge and Zima.
I bought the Zima when they brought it back. I went and got the sixer. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
drank like one basically for fun, and then like between me and my fucking alcoholic friends, it lived in the fridge. Nobody would drink it. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, if there's like free beer, like it's gonna get drank. You know what I mean?
Nobody
And,
would
like,
touch it.
This Zima was like, I think I had to like throw out like a couple bottles.
It's undrinkable. I did
It
the
was pretty
exact same.
bad.
I
It was
rolled
pretty
to a
bad.
barbecue just for comic effect
Yeah,
with it, and I took
Zima.
like
Love
three
it.
sips. I'm like, this is
Look,
fucking
oh.
undrinkable, man. It
Yeah.
was not good.
Dude, the coolest thing that all the ladies would do with the Zimas is they would take the Skittles.
Yeah,
and
I was
they would
gonna
make
say
it,
Jolly
like-
Ranchers.
Yeah, Jolly
put
Ranchers,
Jolly
Skittles,
Ranchers in
anything
there.
that dissolves, right?
Yeah.
And they would make a
Like,
different
if it wasn't
colors.
sweet enough, all fucking ready. Like that
Oh,
shit
dude.
was undrinkably sweet, dude.
Dude, so
Yeah.
bad.
Awful. Fucking back to the phones and shit. I got me thinking about it. I've been running back through Curb Your Enthusiasm because it just ended. Are you a Curb fan?
I've never seen it.
Bro. Okay, that's fine.
Yo,
that's
bro.
that's
Highly
fine. But
recommend.
the point is, it's been on for 25 years.
Has it been that long? Every year?
No, they're like basically every 2 years it would average out to per season.
Oh, okay.
And so we're going back and we're watching, and it's like, oh, this was shot in 2000, and it's all fucking hardware phones and everything, whatever the fuck you even call it, analog phones. I don't even know what the fuck you call it. But like a bunch of the plot is based off of people overhearing other people's messages on their answering machine. Because you know how like people would talk, if they were leaving the message, you could hear them leave the message.
Yeah.
Or like if you played it back, obviously you could hear it or whatever. So there's like a bunch of plot lines that are like about like overhearing a message on, that's why it gets caught and shit or whatever.
I didn't think
And I'm
about
just like,
that.
this is so weird because it's just like this, you couldn't even write this script anymore or
Yeah, we
whatever.
were spying on each other. Like, I remember I'd be talking to like my girlfriend and I hear like heavy breathing. I'm like, Mom, get off the phone! What are you doing?
Oh yeah, you
Got
can do
the
the
landline.
other
Yeah.
line pickups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could totally spy on each other.
Yeah.
Those were the good old days.
Well, even before that, though, the landline thing where you shared, no, not landline, a party line.
Oh,
Where you shared
yeah.
like the one phone line, like on your block or whatever. They put in like a single phone line. So like you'd literally be like your neighbor next door. You'd be like, Linda, get off the fucking phone! I gotta call my doctor or some shit. I mean, like whatever.
Dude, so I don't think I'm that old, but like my grandma was one of the old school operators for like AT&T. She was a switchboard operator. They heard everything.
Oh, yeah,
dude.
Yeah.
Phone
Rich
sex
was
too, your
wild.
grandma. She was into that too. I heard.
What's that?
Wasn't she one of the OG phone sex operators? Too?
No.
You sure?
Not Doris. No
You
way.
sure? I don't know,
Oh,
man.
I'm positive, man.
I was calling that number. We were talking.
She would have been the worst at that. She'd like, go wash your hands.
I don't know. It sounds kind of hot. man.
Only
I'm
one
kinda into it.
baby from the tray. What are you doing, David?
The
fucking germaphobe fetish guy keeps calling, you know, fucking the OCD, Howie Mandel. Howie keeps calling up.
Wash those hands, you dirty boy.
Yes, I'm gonna keep watching them. I'm gonna keep watching them.
Yeah, they're all sticky right now.
Oh, Jesus
Howie.
Christ.
He's a weird dude.
Yeah, they're all sticky from that Zima I've been drinking.
I'm a little harder right now. I'm trying to change this line of questioning here.
Yeah. Fuck, man. Did you guys see this shit? This is sort of a news, but I don't want to overjump the news shit. But did you guys see this shit that happened today? This fucking dude lit himself on fire in New York.
Is that part of the protest, the student protest?
No, it's something that has to do. It was outside of the Trump trial.
It's just a normal day in New York. Yeah, I mean, like,
That's the opposite reaction. I was like, holy shit, motherfucker lit himself on fire.
Self-immolation's making a big
Yeah.
comeback. There was
That's
one of
not-
these like 3 weeks ago too. Some guy did this shit.
I mean, it's New York City. They've seen weirder stuff than
This
that.
one guy's got the fire extinguisher just going, fuck my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Suck it in a little
I
bit.
helped work in. I was actually worked in the Bronx for a little bit for 3 months, and we were trying to do a company picnic, and so we were trying to pick a park where it's accessible by rail because a lot of your workers in New York City don't have cars.
Yeah.
Because public transportation
Yeah,
is so great,
right.
and so they were like, "Hey, it's got to be near this," and so we found a park, and we set up security. We had everything ready to go, and then like they pulled the plug on it because they were like, somebody was murdered in that park. I'm like, it's New York City.
Yeah.
Everybody's been murdered in a
Yeah,
park.
yeah,
in, like,
yeah,
New York.
yeah.
Like, I'm like, tell me a park that hasn't had somebody murdered.
Of course,
in it.
yeah.
Like, that would have been easier.
Yeah, that's a pretty ridiculous canceling for sure.
It's like, what?
Yeah.
So they went to the Bronx Zoo again. We're like, oh, whatever.
Which is like, people been murdered at the Bronx
Yeah,
Zoo, 100%. Yeah. Getting ripped apart by the fucking...
Fuck around by that cheetah
chimp
cage that's going on.
the chimp thing or whatever.
R.I.P. Harmaby.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
How long did you live in New York?
Well, I'm actually from New York.
Oh, okay.
Not the city, upstate New York. I have to clarify.
lame,
I know. I don't have an
Doesn't
accent
count,
or
dude.
anything.
Yeah.
But I'm a huge Mets fan, so I love New York Mets
okay.
baseball. But
Nice.
yeah, I grew up in New York till I graduated from college. I went to
Oh,
college
shit.
in Vermont.
Why the fuck did you... Why? Why are you here?
You're like, why are you gonna, well, I heard you guys were going to do a podcast. And I know where you are. I was like, I gotta get to Michigan early. I gotta establish myself.
It's a man that's got his priorities in order to be sure.
Right. Well, no. When I graduated 2002 from Norwich University, which is the oldest private military college our fine nation has to offer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, established in 1819.
Nice.
Damn.
And so obviously I took an ROTC commission and went into the Army. And then 2006, I had just gotten back from Iraq, so I spent 2005 in Iraq, and then came back in 2006, and I got a job at a local company there in Kalamazoo, and got married, had kids, got divorced. That was cool. But yeah, so I'm locked here. I have 2 amazing daughters. I don't want to change that for the world. So. Yeah, they're absolutely amazing. They're actually in the production The Beauty and the Beast this weekend. So
very
big
cool.
shout out to them.
Hell
So
yeah.
Awesome.
my youngest daughter, she's ensemble, and then my oldest daughter.
Which one's the beast?
Oh,
Which
that's
one's
me. That's what I call my household.
answer, good
The Beauties
answer,
and the
though,
Beast.
yeah.
I'm the Beast, right? But my youngest daughter, she's an ensemble, so she has like several costume changes. And she's dancing and she loves
Cool.
it. She's very comfortable on stage.
Yeah.
And then my oldest daughter, she's crew for costumes, so she's helping with all the costumes and the
nice.
hairdos and everything. Yeah,
That's fun.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
I forget, you're a Kalamazoo guy. I was watching some of your stuff online, which is super funny, by the way, but you're a Kalamazoo guy too, right? I'm also down there.
Oh, yeah, I saw the Western hat. So do you live down there?
Oh, shit, I'm wearing it out. Yeah. It's kind of my
On
go-to
camera.
area.
Oh, dude, we got a carpool. This is, man, I was like, that's a long drive.
I was thinking about it, but it's hard enough for me to be marginally interesting for the 2 hours of ride.
Yeah.
Burning through all that
We're gonna
crucial
have a real
material. on the way.
quiet, awkward drive home after this podcast.
So,
Why are you crying? Actually, some of it. So when you go, so a lot of the times when comics travel, we'll travel in bunches so that we can all get stage time. So you have 2 to 3, 4 comics in a car. The car rides are the funniest parts.
Oh,
Oh,
sure.
yeah.
It is just ongoing.
Road tripping
people
with a bunch of
try-
comics,
Yeah,
yeah.
it is the best.
I love
It's
a
the
road
best.
trip, you know?
Yeah,
That's the
and
best.
I road tripped with comics out to Toledo, so that's a good long drive. It's
Yeah.
like 2 hours and some change. We go to the east side of the state. Actually, Monday.
From Kalamazoo, Toledo?
Yeah, it was 2.
That's God. I thought it'd been more even.
It depends who's driving. I did okay. I had a Ford Fiesta at the time.
Nice, dude.
That's Spanish for party. What's up? That was not a good vehicle. That was a divorce vehicle.
The ultimate piece of shit. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
I felt like Freddie Flintstone. I could have gone faster if I just started running with it. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
You've been at kind of like a lot of different places. Did I see you around in New York? Like how far have you gone for shows, comedy wise?
Well, so I always try to tag on some shows. So New York's probably the furthest so far, but Indiana's always a good time. Ohio's always a good time. They have the Funny Bone out there. So whenever I go home about once or twice a year to New York.
Yeah,
so,
try to book it.
Yeah, I
That's
try to
a good
book
move.
it.
Yeah.
I booked a competition, which I knew I was going to win because I just wanted stage time.
Sure.
And so we got there, and it was just a blast. And so, the host there was like, hey, whenever you're in town, swing on through. So comedy's vibrant, really, in a lot of places. But, I mean, Michigan is really budding.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they got great places. I mean, Grand Rapids is
Grand Rapids is kind of popping, honestly.
Oh, it is popping.
Yeah.
And then Kalamazoo brought a lot of their shows back after COVID.
Right.
They had a ton beforehand, but now it's really starting to get lively. All the producers down there are doing a great job. And then, of course, we got Lansing, Detroit, Traverse City, and then Muskegon.
Yeah.
Has a lot of opportunities out there.
We're from Muskegon originally. Both
Oh,
of us.
okay.
Yeah.
Nice area. I do love Muskegon.
Fruitport, shout out.
Yo.
Oh, you
Ski
guys
town,
from
baby.
Fruitport?
Shh.
Oh, yeah. You don't want your Grand Rapids neighbors to find out.
No.
Like, these guys, I don't care if they have a pool. They're from Fruitport.
They're bathing in that pool. They're from Fruitport.
They don't even wear socks.
They're not even wearing
it's
shoes
just-
on their own podcast. Fucking savages.
Dude, I did a show in Fruitport one time, and it was literally for 6 people.
At the Pincrest?
Yeah!
Yeah,
And I brought one of the people. So I was like, oh.
Indeed. Yeah.
That's our guy, Ryan Fitzgerald, I think, runs
Was
quite a
Ryan.
few
Yeah, I love
shows on
Ryan.
that area. Yeah.
Well, back then, it was a Zank show. It was Scott Zank.
Okay.
So, but yeah, it was in like actually, I don't think it was Pincrest. It was just a bar downtown, well, on that street. But there's no real downtown.
Downtown's a real.
I was like, holy crap, they got a
A
McDonald's.
bar downtown was probably Pincrest. There's only like
Could
2.
be yield. Could be a little
Could
yield.
have been, I don't think
action,
they were
something
doing
like that.
comedy at the Yield, maybe.
Oh, nobody showed up for it, so
Yeah.
I don't think they knew.
It could have been back. It might have been the LBJ, the Little Brown Jug, if it was back.
yeah,
If it was back a little ways, it's some kind of smoked meats place now, which is better.
Yeah, that's true.
They look like they're slinging some fucking sausage out of there. It's like pretty good.
No, that's cool. So I didn't realize you guys. So you guys graduated high school at the same
Yeah,
time.
we both went to Fruitport High School together, so we've known each other since fucking the 6th grade.
No way.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
The old ball and chain.
It's a lot.
over here.
I know.
No, that's a long time.
It's too
Little
long.
too long.
Honestly.
Little too
So how did you meet
It's
up in the
good.
6th grade? So one of you moved there.
It was like a gay thing.
Well, they did like the different elementary schools,
we were
and
in,
then when they
like-
get to 6th grade, they
Yeah,
combined a few
middle
of them,
school.
so it's
Oh.
there.
Middle school,
Okay,
yeah.
so you guys were in 2 separate elementary schools.
Yeah.
I didn't know Fruitport had more than one.
Yeah, several, many.
Wow.
I went to
Thriving
the good
metropolis down there, kind of a bastion of education, and you get right
one. I
down
was
to
at
it.
the good one, and he was at the.
It was the not good one.
I'm surprised you guys had multiple. No offense. It
Yeah.
just seems like a small area.
It is,
Yeah.
no, but it's honestly the whole thing is just residential though, so it's just like it's all just people and kids. Like it's not
Okay.
really like I don't know. It's just whatever. It's
Where
just
do
like
people in
suburbs.
Fruitport work?
Well, why do you think I live in Grand Rapids?
And you live in Dallas? Yeah.
Exactly. Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, the answer is Pincrest Lanes. Yeah. If they're not running a comedy show at Pincrest, they're probably unemployed.
Everyone's working with Ryan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, everybody is.
Ryan's really the godfather out there right now.
He's a great
Nah,
dude.
he's
I
the
love
man.
Ryan.
He's
He's so much
funny
fun.
guy. He brought the fucking. He probably rolled in with a 30-pack of Busch Light, and we were like, "For poor."
That's about right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's about right.
That's about
The
right.
best part was pouring the Busch Light into a Wesco cup.
Yeah, so it's just the most
was so
fruitful
awesome.
possible thing, dude.
Dude, I should have been here for that one. That sounds amazing.
Well, we'll fucking bring you guys both back, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we'll
Tag
all
team
drink
action.
Wesco. Fucking beer out of a Wesco cup is the most Fruitport thing you could possibly. We lived out of Wesco. Like,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was it, you know?
Dude.
Wesco is so important in Fruitport they built another Wesco across the street.
They did not.
I thought when they were doing it, I was like, oh man, they're getting rid of the old Wesco. They're just, got a new one. No. Both Wescos.
Multiple
across
Wescos,
the street from each other.
You guys had
yes.
such a demand for Wescos.
That's that much Wesco, bro. They're like, we just need another
The people
Wesco.
demanded more Wesco. In fairness, one Wesco is not getting the job.
That is some Dollar
not-
General stuff right there.
Yeah, well, the Dollar General's right next door. No, and they're literally like right next door to the meat smoking place, and then the next place down is the fucking Pincrest, dude. That's it. That's
Fruitport. Yeah, we just
Hell yeah. We always joke because there's basically a 4-way corner in Fruitport, and there's a sign, and one way says high school, and the other way says cemetery. And we're like, yeah, that's pretty much life here in Fruitport. You go to high school, yada, 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 you end up in the cemetery.
From cradle to grave, man.
Right.
From cradle to
It's
grave.
like, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, I'm just glad you guys had some Oberon.
As
Like-
Kalamazoo,
Kalamazoo,
Western guy,
Yeah,
you know,
love
yeah.
that. It's a delicacy. Out
although it's been a little, it's not,
Yeah,
even,
I don't
you
know,
know,
it ain't
they
the
like sold it to, I
same,
think, Leinenkugels or Sam
Yeah,
Adams or
yeah,
somebody,
one of
so it's
those
not
big,
even independently owned
European
anymore.
conglomerate,
And
fucking whatever the fuck's.
Oh yeah,
Pretty
somebody bought
bump.
them out. Yeah.
Hey, do you remember the name? We were talking about this the other day. What the fuck was the name of the comedy club that was there in Kalamazoo that was below Shakespeare's?
Yeah, the Laughing Post.
Was that what it was?
I got to see.
I thought it was some guy's name.
I think it had a couple, it
Okay,
had like at
like-
least 2 different iterations, if I remember.
So I've loved comedy ever since growing up.
Yeah.
And so it was the Laughing Post when I found out about it.
Okay.
Because I got to see Sebastian Maniscalco there.
Really?
Oh,
When
Jesus,
he was
that's
like
a great
just
man.
coming out, and he was.
That's a legit comedy club. I mean.
Oh yeah, it was back in the day, and then Bob Fredericks got to run it there for. It was called Shakespeare's Lower Level when they tried
Okay.
to bring it back, and then COVID kind of killed
What
all
was
that
it
off.
called? Gary somethings?
You're thinking of Gary Fields out in
Yes!
Battle Creek. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank
That's
you.
how bad
Thank
it
you.
is.
I'm
Yeah.
mixing shit up. Yeah.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
In fact, it wasn't open since I've never gone there, but
Right,
I heard it all.
right.
So I used to run a show at JB Whiskey's, which is now called The Base.
Okay.
And so I ran a couple of good shows there for a year or so, and everybody come in and like, oh, this is just like Gary Fields. I'm like, you can only put 50 people here. Like Gary Fields would house 250, 300.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
big.
Gotcha. Yeah.
It was really big.
How is
Right.
it running comedy shows? Is it? I gotta imagine you got some sketchy, semi-unreliable people. Like, is it crazy? Is it
Oh,
like
yes.
herding cat stuff? Yeah, exactly. But
Yeah, so I don't produce shows anymore, but it's kind of the life cycle of a comic, right? When you first get started, you're doing a ton of open mics, and then people find out you're doing comedy, and they're like, you should run a show. And then it's a great way to get on stage on a regular basis,
Yeah.
run different premises, try new things, but you're 100% correct. And I'm not trying to bash comedians, but I always started my shows on time, and I always was pretty quick to a script, and just you would have drops day of. You're getting the set list ready, and someone's like, "Oh, can't make it." And I was like,
You're like, okay.
"It starts in 3 minutes."
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez, oh Pete, and then you don't know who's gonna run what, so you
Yeah.
don't. So you try to have some bona fide killers on the show, but of course it's an open mic. You can't pay anybody, so then you're just running that risk. And
Yeah.
here we have so many. Well, in Grand Rapids, there's so many great open mics, and now in Kalamazoo, we're starting to see a lot more come open, which is fantastic.
well, it's one of
Nice.
those. I mean, any creative field, really. Those people tend to be kind of a different mindset. It's not exactly like, oh, I'm going to punch in at 4:00. That's kind of why people, I think, gravitate towards music or film or comedy or whatever the creative aspect is. So trying to pin somebody down, like, be here at this time. And
Yeah, and I'm such a wild card because I went to military college. I spent 9 years in the military, and I was like,
Yeah, like on
we're
time.
starting on time, guys.
oh, 400 cocksuckers, get your asses out here! Come on,
I'm like
shoulder
that
up.
too. When I was gigging back in the day doing music, it was the same way. We were always on time, and then we were always sitting around waiting. Is this show gonna start?
Yeah.
you said load in was this time, so we were here at this time.
Oh, it's so unpredictable, and then of course you have the late drops, and you're trying to add people, and then people show up, and then you're juggling the lineup card. You're trying to put experience with inexperience, and try to balance it out a little bit.
Yeah.
I love the comics that come up with hey, we're trying new stuff tonight. I'm like, all right, let me put them in and around, right? Like, so that part of it, like I ran a couple of shows. I ran M89 Sports Bar and Grill out in Otsego. That's been demolished, which is super sad.
You did a great job. That's been a hell of a show.
Comedy nights, they were huge. We would, I mean, for an open mic, we would pack that place 50, 60 people.
Nice.
Damn. Nice turnout.
Small towns turn out for their special
True
events.
that, yeah.
And I love that.
Lack of options is a strong motivator when you're trying to get people to an event.
So people from Fruitport, for real. Yeah.
Yeah, so, but yeah, it did get a little frustrating, and so I started dabbling back in it, and then I helped launch Peach Pit Comedy Club. So that was with John Batch and his wife, Demi, and that ran really well for a while, you know, making some good impact, and then they switched it to a nonprofit, which was super awesome, really great for them. I couldn't keep up with it. I have a pretty demanding, you know, job.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing when things get ready, you know, want to start on time. I was at a mic the other day, and they're like, 8:30, we're going. Like 8:50, I'm like, I've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Right. Like, some of us have real jobs.
Well, and that's, you know, there's a lot of comics who have, you know, real jobs, but a lot of like the hourly workforce, because they like to be as flexible as possible. Because, you know, so I don't do gigs when I have my kids. Now that they're getting a little bit older, I've become more flexible. But that, you know, when you knowingly close a lot of doors that way.
Yeah.
You know, because a lot of producers are like, well, you know, we would reach out to you, but, you know, you're never available every other weekend. It's like, yeah. Right. Now my kids have phones, and I can leave them in the dark with a pizza, and they're fine.
Yeah, indeed.
You know, don't turn on the lights.
Nice.
So were you doing like a bunch of hosting at the comedy shows, or were you just strictly running the thing?
Yeah, no, I was hosting.
Okay.
Which is super nice when you host, because you can try so many different premises, and, you know, you just get that regular practice, which was a lot of fun. But then, you know, there's only so long you can do it. You know, just dedicating yourself, you know, once a month, or some people do it 4 times a month.
Yeah.
When they're hosting and doing all that. My job's not that flexible, so I put in probably close to 60 hours a week. So
I've heard comics say, like pro comics say, like, if you want to get really good really fast, start with hosting, because you get all that time, and like you're saying, you can run different premises, and like you're not obligated to kill, you know, because you're kind of just like maybe setting some shit up and then you're bringing somebody up, so like you can kind of like feel out things like way faster just because you get all this kind of stage time just between shit. So I don't know if that's true, but I've heard I don't know, somebody say that.
I felt that way.
Yeah,
I definitely felt that way. And of course, when you're first starting out, the more reps you get, the better you get.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
just being on stage.
Yeah. So I think you know the evolution of comics. At least this is what it's been like for me. You know, you start with open mics, then you start hosting your own shows. Then your next big thing is I got to get my next tight 20. That way I can feature.
Yeah.
You know, features are anywhere between 20 minutes and 30 minutes, and then you try to get to headliner. And I think where Carlo Williams said it the best, he was like, you know, your first 3 years you're a rookie. And then the 3-year mark to the 7-year mark, you should be featuring pretty regularly, and then 7+ you should be headlining. So, and social media has changed the game.
Well, you're on 7 years now too, right? Huh?
Yeah, so I've headlined some smaller shows, right? But I'm not headlining
the ones you set
clubs.
up. No, I'm kidding.
Whoa! No, I'm feeling really good about my comedy career right now. And it's like, you went back and got a master's so you could tell dick jokes on stage. Like, yeah.
I got a master's in dick jokes. My dissertation's incredible.
I know, right?
Really
it's like 3 inches long. It's great. Yeah. I mean, minutes. Damn it! God. We just got real up close and personal.
That's good.
No,
man.
but I mean, comedy. It was for me. It was a strat. So I didn't start comedy until I was 38 years old.
Yeah.
So I was super late to the game, and really, my buddy Barton James, who's a comic down in Kalamazoo, and he was like, "Why don't you just go out there and try it?" So we saw him in the funniest person in Grand Rapids, and again, huge fan of just comedy in general.
Yeah.
So like, whenever I get on a show, I always try to ask if I can go first, so that I can sit and watch the rest. Because if you ever you guys have been to the comedy shows where people are waiting in the wings and they're in their notebook and they're reading and they're not. So I always like to go first because I'm usually pretty high energy.
Yeah.
And then I can sit back and just watch it and enjoy.
Have a few drinks, the pressure's off.
Well, and then you get to listen to great comedy.
Because you got to get up in the morning.
So for the longest time, I always stayed for the entire show. And then now I'm in like my 6th, 7th year. It's like, I can't, like, especially if I'm in Grand Rapids for the night.
You gotta drive, dude.
You gotta drive 45 minutes back home.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
So I try to stay to the end because I want to give that mutual respect.
Yeah, for sure.
To your other comics.
Oh, I get it. Believe me.
But they also understand when, hey, I got to be at work at 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning, and those mornings come early.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Open mics are during the week, right? There's really no.
And they
open
always
mics on the
start
weekend.
so late too. I always feel like I've looked at, like, we've dicked around about maybe going and trying some or whatever, and like it's like I'm looking at open mics and like it's like it doesn't start till 10 o'clock or something on Sunday, and I'm like, well, that's not gonna happen. I can't. I'm not doing
9,
that.
10 o'clock on
like,
Sunday.
No, I'm good.
That's
dude.
a school night, man.
Yeah, I just gotta get up in the morning. Like that's not gonna happen.
So when did you used to do music? What kind of music? Did you
I was doing kind of prog metal shit. It was 10 years ago now when I was gigging. I still do music. I'll show you the studio after.
Very
so I'm
cool.
mostly a studio guy now.
I thought that was a porn room, so I'm glad you.
That's in the basement. Yeah. Also,
Real sweet setup down there. All kinds of swings and stuff.
You guys were like, you can't go down
Totally.
there.
A lot of
Yeah.
boobs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a real dungeon it's a real sex dungeon down there.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh,
it's great.
dude.
It's great. Yeah. So yeah, that was why I still do. It's just it's mostly recording and I have various projects and whatever nowadays. But
Nice.
it is what it is. I'm an old man.
You guys are both younger than me. Just for the record.
We're mostly just podcasting nowadays.
Oh, that's good. Podcasting. I used to have a podcast.
Oh yeah.
So my buddy, when we started Demented Peach together, we did the Good versus Evil podcast. And it went well for a long time, but when we wanted to focus on the business, I mean, that was a lot of time. So we're doing open mics, the podcast, which was weekly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, on top of that, we're trying to run shows. So,
Day jobs and everything else. That's
Oh,
keeping
yeah.
an awful lot
Something's
onto the
gotta
plate for
give.
sure.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a lot of time, but podcasting is so much fun. I love being on podcasts. So thank you so much for asking me to be here.
That's why
I
we're doing
appreciate
it.
you coming out, man.
Oh, heck yeah.
It really is a goddamn blast, man. This
It's
is so
so
much
fun.
fun to sit in. As much as anything, it's an excuse.
So
Like, let's get
talk
together
shit, I know.
every week and have a couple
Yeah.
beers and shoot the shit with people.
So I've had to try to
That's
explain to people too. It's like probably like even like these people aren't going to come over if I just ask them to come over and hang out with me.
would.
Like, we're doing a podcast and I'm like,
No,
oh,
he's correct. That wouldn't be here. In fairness, it's an hour plus drive. I mean,
Yeah, well,
You're a great
especially
guy and
with
all,
the
but no.
especially with the construction. I mean, if the construction wasn't there,
dude, what the fuck is going on? man?
dancing Christ,
The
man.
traffic in Grand Rapids right now is fuck you level, dude. It is the worst right now. I
I
don't
will
know
tell you,
what is going on.
I hate politics and politicians, but Gretchen was right, man. She's fixing those roads.
Fixing them. Tearing them up, fixing them.
Tearing them up. I don't know if they're fixed, but
Yeah.
they're torn up for good.
Big Gretch getting down. I seen her with that shovel. She was out there, dude. She's out there with the steaming fucking tar.
Can I just
Was
say
she
for the
really out
record,
there doing? No, she was not.
Of course I'm fucking
Not
kidding.
Big
dude.
Gretch.
Big Gretch is out there, man.
I'm not gonna lie, man. Big
That
Gretch
woman
gets it
owns a
done
shovel.
for me.
Oh,
She
she-
does.
oh.
I got a real thing for Gretchen,
Yeah,
man. I don't know what it is, but real.
I'm
You're
gonna-
like that lady in power kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's kinda
yeah.
I'm
that
gonna
kind
prove
of
a point
thing,
here real quick.
Yeah.
Were you a huge Linda Carter fan, like the original Wonder Woman?
I don't know if I could
kind of
pick
the same
Linda Carter
demographic.
out of a lineup of
I
two
do,
people,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, she
Yeah.
was babe. Yeah, the original.
Sounds about right. That
Yeah.
match check
She
now.
kind of looks like Big Gretch.
She does,
just with blue
yeah,
eyes,
yeah. Who was the other woman? Jesus, governor of Michigan a couple years ago.
It wasn't a couple years ago. It was like decades ago.
Granholm.
Granholm, yeah.
Wasn't that long ago.
Isn't she like
Whatever.
the attorney general or some shit?
Yeah, she's
like
working
some-
for Biden. Pretty sure.
She's
Yeah.
Canadian.
Yeah.
Is she really?
She's Canadian. I was like, what the hell? So I was in
Close
the,
enough,
Michigan
dude.
Michigan
We're
Guard when she was governor. I was like, close enough. Yeah. We like Arnold Schwarzenegger
Yeah.
to take governor. Anybody can do it. That's wild to me that non-U.S. citizens can be governors,
Yeah.
but they can't. they
Anything
can't
but
hold
president.
Yeah.
Yep. Which is why Schwarzenegger. I would vote for Schwarzenegger for president. 100%.
Really?
100%. He's the Terminator. I don't know. I don't even know what his politics. I have no idea what his politics are. I have no clue about what his policies or what his agendas would be. I do know that he was in commando, so he has my vote.
Yeah, dude did whatever it took, right?
It's a pretty good leg to stand
whatever,
on.
man.
Although, in fairness, I don't know if you watched the Arnold documentary,
Yes,
which was
yes.
awesome on
I
Netflix.
did,
by
and
the
that's
way.
I haven't
kinda
seen
what I'm
that.
saying. Yeah,
But
it
like
was great.
he legitimately,
It's just-
more so than anybody else, like reached across the aisle.
Yeah.
He had all sorts. He got more bipartisan shit
Yeah.
passed than anybody.
Oh,
he was
yeah.
like a big
Yeah,
fucking
it's
deal. I know
just-
people
it was
loved
just-
him.
Like, I'm joking around about totally would vote for Schwarzenegger.
And it was just one terrible Mr. Freeze Batman style pun after another. When he was
I'll be back. He's like everything. He was like, oh,
Get to the chopper.
to squash childhood obesity.
it's just like what?
It's
Like,
not a
sweet.
tumor. Healthcare for all, right?
Schwarzenegger rules at an alarming rate. Dude.
Yeah,
that guy has
he's
yet
mad.
to do something that
I
doesn't
would
kick
totally
ass.
party with him. For sure.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Of course, man.
And I
Yeah.
think Schwarzenegger got after it back in the day. He was pulling some serious high into some
Oh, dude, who
backside
wouldn't
for
want to
sure.
sleep
Yeah.
with him? The guy was enormous.
Well, yeah, I mean, he was Mr.
And he was pretty muscular too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No. We already did this whole fucking thing.
You are correct, sir. Yeah.
Super loud, sir. But,
Tone that bad boy down.
no, I contend that Schwarzenegger is a tiny penis. It's tiny.
From all.
It's
Tiny.
not. He was
Tiny,
He
nah.
was naked in
Nah.
the opening scene of Terminator when he comes out of the fucking
Prosthetics,
thing.
bro.
That's all
That's
natural.
James Cameron movie magic.
That is good old fashioned Austrian crank right there.
I
at its
saw
finest.
that movie and I was like, maybe steroids doesn't make it shrink. Like, put me on a cycle, mom.
No, tiny. It's tiny, boys.
Tiny.
I'm telling
The
you.
thing I've
Telling
heard
you.
is that it can increase penis size, but it decreases testicle size, shrinks the berries. but
That
the
makes
twigger
it
doesn't affect
look bigger. That just makes the D look bigger.
So
I mean, nobody really
when you
cares
get right
about
down
the
to it,
berries,
you know.
right?
Indeed. And all that down there swishing around. It's no good for business.
I think we spent
Tiny
way too much
efficient
time
balls
on
are really the way to
penises.
go. Well, you're gonna hate the next segment.
Whose penis is this?
That's the next
Oh
good-
no way!
Oh no.
All right.
I don't know if it's gonna show the full crank.
Nah,
ring. I
dude,
don't
this
know if
guy's
it's show.
jacked. Look at
Yeah, he
him.
was Mr. fucking Universe or whatever.
Mr. Olympia, Mr.
Mr.
Universe,
Olympia, whatever the fuck.
All the above.
Soak him in a little bit.
Yeah,
Look at
dude.
those pecs.
Governor.
How would you not vote for this man?
Schwarzenegger
Look at him.
rules.
His 1980s haircut.
Really waiting on pins and needles for this crank shot here.
Yeah.
This got
Are you
uncomfortable.
thinking-
Are you sure there even is a crank shot, dude? I don't
100%, bro.
dude.
I mean, I've done the same thing in Los Angeles. Just walked to a thing, but I got arrested.
Is this
so
not
that's
normal?
weird.
Yeah.
They're like, you can't do that, sir.
Bill Paxton.
Oh, this guy is
God
zooming in
damn
on
it.
it.
Bill Paxton. Yes. Because it's so fucking tiny. It's so tiny, he's got to get the fucking thing.
What is this?
Hey, there's some naked guy up here, but he has an extremely tiny penis. You got a quarter for the thing?
Paxton's the man. You pour one out for Bill Paxton, baby. King among men.
He's in every James Cameron movie ever, I think, except until he died.
Why were there so many gaps in people's teeth back then? Like his, the guy with the blue
Yeah,
hair.
all these guys. That guy with the blue hair is Bill Paxton, and that's a fake gap.
Is that
Look
Bill
at that.
Paxton?
That's Bill Paxton.
That other guy is somebody super
Yeah.
famous too. Who's that guy on the right? He's
I don't know
somebody.
who that is.
Look at
He's
small. Look
nobody.
at these knives, dude.
Yeah, that's Bill Paxton, and he was just like some like fucking guy who worked in the crew or something. And James Cameron was like, "Hey, you look kind of like a punk rocker or something." Like, put him in.
Looks like you make bad decisions.
All right, that's good enough on
All
the
right,
fucking.
I was nervous about the crank shot, so I'm glad.
Yeah, there was not. I was led to believe there was a lot of crank in that. Fucking,
There,
it was a little
literally
bit.
there.
It was in high shadow. It was
a damn
Nice shadows.
I'm not seeing a lot
He
of
pulled
crank.
strings once he got near the top of government and
I
got
don't
some
know,
of that
man.
stuff
It
taken out of
wasn't dragging
there.
on the ground or nothing.
Nah.
So, I mean,
He had to have fucking Sarah Connor give him a little fluff before the fucking before they shot that scene. Is what I heard, dude.
that's awesome.
Furlong's more
I would
likely.
take some.
There's
I would
a,
take some Sarah Connor. Yeah.
She's still around and kicking. She is on a sci-fi show called
Yeah. She's cool,
Resident
man.
Alien right now.
Oh, that makes
Linda
sense.
Hamilton.
Yeah. Well,
Shout
she
out.
was in one of the newer Terminators that just came out, but I didn't see it. I heard it stunk with Daenerys played young Sarah Connor or something. I don't even know. You know, who the fuck knows? But they
Daenerys
brought her
from
back.
like the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
All
Daenerys
right.
chick, whatever. Amelia Clark.
Yeah. All right. You guys like Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I was super into it when it was out. Yeah, I mean, I think everybody was pretty disappointed in the. I was just reading something randomly today about different cast members, like basically saying how disappointed they were with the ending of Game of Thrones and shit. Like after the fact, like the dude who played fucking a Nicholas Castor, whatever the fuckity fuck.
I got nothing.
The guy that got his hand cut off.
Jamie Lannister.
Jamie Lannister, thank you. But he was really talking some shit about it. Fucking Jon Snow was talking some shit about it. They kind of like compiled like different like things that these guys had said. Like this is the guy that played Varys or whatever. Was like really pissed off about how his character went out. And shit,
yeah.
It was all pretty
They
weak,
really
honestly.
nailed it in that last. Did
That
you
last
watch
season
it? Or?
I did. Yeah.
It kind of stunk, I hate to say. At the time, though, it's hard to overstate how huge it was. And like when nobody knew what was going to happen, like why it got so big, I contend, is that the fun of it was speculating on what was going to happen, because there was
always twists and turns.
and everybody had theories about everything and who was going to do this and whatever, and like the internet was fucking running rampant, and like you'd fucking whatever talk to people at the water cooler thing or whatever, oh, it's going to be this, or I think this is going to happen or whatever. And then it was kind of like when all was finally revealed, everybody was just kind of like like
I don't know. It was pretty great. Even
It was so-
last
it was
season
so
was a
good.
little rushed or whatever, but I mean, it's arguably
it was
the
so
greatest
just.
or among the greatest show. I mean, it's a top 5 show of
You
all
have a
time.
top five?
I
probably,
don't know.
without
I don't know.
question.
I think the ending fucking kind of pulled it out of the ranking, dude. It was like a steady, like this could be the greatest show that's ever been made, and then like the ending, it kind of.
I don't know if it was the greatest show. Like, I was really surprised that they were super cool with incest. Like, nobody ever talked about that. I was like, family members are banging. Like, that's not
So the
good.
big part of it was about.
Well, in fairness, I
they
think
were
that's kind of
saying
par
stuff.
for the course back in the day. Like, literally, with royalty and stuff, it was maintain the bloodlines and everything
Yeah.
else, so it wasn't
They
out
had
of the norm.
dragons. They can have outside their family relationships. Like, it's not. It doesn't seem so far fetched.
In fairness, Cersei, though, I mean,
Really, she
got something like that right in the backyard. Yeah, she got it.
Oh, no,
for sure.
when she-
Her and Gretchen are in my top 2. When you get
When
her down
she
to
put
it.
out in 300, I was very upset.
I forgot she was even in
Yeah,
300.
she's
the queen.
Yeah.
Point blank,
yeah.
she shouldn't be queen. Like, she should
Yeah,
stop
she's a
doing
bad queen.
stuff.
Yeah, not great at the queen role.
Come on.
No, she's cool. She's great at 300. Actually, she's really good in that fucking movie.
She is.
That movie is actually.
She is.
It's kind of badass in a lot of ways. It's kind of cheesy in some ways, but
It's
pretty
actually,
sweet.
it's. I'm surprised you don't have that book up here. By the way, you didn't read
I
that
had-
shit. There's
What are you talking about, bro?
Ben-Hur. No one's ever read Ben-Hur.
I have read Ben-Hur. Excuse me, sir. I have read Ben-Hur 13 times.
You can't spell Ben-Hur.
I don't even know. Most people are like, you read all these books, dude? I'm like, no.
No way.
No, I haven't.
When I was watching your podcast and I saw that bookshelf, I was like, no effing way.
They're not even real books. Like, it's just
You have a Yankees hat on top of it. I was like, yeah, he didn't
No,
read those.
that's a damn Yankees hat. That's not a Yankees
Oh!
That's a Ted Nugent damn Yankees
Hell yeah,
hat.
Wow.
So that one I will take umbrage with.
why is said damn Yankees hat not atop of that?
I'm wearing
fine
Miskatonic
chrome?
today.
That's pretty
It's
good. Pretty
hat.
good. That damn Yankees hat is the hat to
Yeah,
end
it's a
all
good
hats,
hat.
dude.
Yeah.
It's a great hat. Yeah.
It's a great
Great
Found
hat,
that-
great album.
I bet
still
you
bump
read
some
all those
damn
Stephen
Yankees.
King novels.
I have. You are correct.
Dude, I had
I've
you
read.
pegged
You
so
really
hard.
do. You really do.
Dude, you are Fruitport.
I've read.
Read all the Stephen
I've read
King
the
stuff.
shit out of the Dark Tower. I used to have an entire bookcase. I had all Stephen King's, all of them,
Dude,
and I
because they all
sold
take
it.
places in places like Fruitport. You're like, oh, I can identify with this.
Dairy Maid is just like Fruitport. I saw a clown in a drain at Fruitport like 5 times. This is normal.
Fruitport also has a pet cemetery. Yeah.
Indeed. We used to get drunk in the back of the pet cemetery. There's nothing else to do.
Speaking of cemeteries, I don't know if it's still called the same thing, but do you remember on Westnedge, there is the
Mount Everest.
Yes.
Mount
Cemetery,
Everest.
which
Yeah.
is so good, dude.
Yeah,
I'm being
indeed.
buried there without question.
It's a pretty good pun.
pretty solid pun.
You want to be,
Well
you
played.
want to be buried?
At Mount Everest.
Just for comic effect, dude. Just me
what?
chilling there solo. It's
You
glorious.
should do a thing. One of you guys in Kalamazoo should do a thing and be like, I'm gearing up to fucking climb Mount Everest. And do like a whole thing and then just like go to like the little grassy knoll in fucking Mount Everest Cemetery and just be like, I can't believe I made it. You know, like get a couple of Sherpas with you and
That'd be
shit.
hilarious. That's the move.
Camp out.
We're here. We made it. The oxygen tanks and shit. All fucking.
Make a documentary out of it.
Exactly.
Oh, dude.
You can have that one for free. That's on me. Quality content off
That's
the top of my head right
That's
now.
awesome.
Yeah, I used to have the whole Stephen King, and I sold my entire collection for like $500. Pretty decent. Pretty decent. I was like, I gotta get rid of some books. I got way too many. The other room, I'll show you, it's all full of books too. And I'm
That's
like,
awesome.
I gotta get rid of some fucking books. And I was like, I know that somebody will actually buy the Stephen King, so I sold like the whole show. But I kept the Dark Tower because the Dark Tower rules.
It's awesome.
Pouring out for the movie, which is the worst movie ever made.
I still never. It's Idris Elba and
It's the
Matthew
worst
McConaughey,
movie ever made.
Yeah.
Beside the original Dune, there's the original Dune, and then there's the
Standalone,
Dark
yeah.
Tower with Idris Elba.
In
Beat up.
fairness, there are
Hey.
many great options to choose from when it comes to terribly adapted Stephen King
This
books
is
to
true.
movies.
This is
I
true
mean,
for
they're
sure. Yeah.
almost universally horrible.
So the deal is now though is Mike Flanagan, the horror movie show producer. You know who that is?
I don't.
You probably know some of his shows, a big Netflix series. He just did his latest one was House of Usher. What are some of the other ones there? Can you pull his thing up there, Dub? Some of the greatest fucking shows.
Flanagan's the man,
It's
yeah,
the
he
man,
shows.
and he's done a couple Stephen Kings. I think he might have done like The Mist or something like that.
Oh, well, we brought up his IMDb. All right. let's
He's
see.
he's adapting the Dark Tower as a series, which is the only way it can be done.
That's huge.
And
I forgot
and he's
he did,
going super
Dr.
fucking.
Sleep.
Gerald's Game
Gerald's
is
Game's Choice.
that's a Stephen King.
I've
Hush
never
is
seen any of
fantastic.
this.
Yeah, his series on Netflix are like the best. The Haunting of Hill House. Like I was crying, dude. Like they're amazing.
In
like
fairness, your
wow.
bitch made.
That's beside the
brass
point.
tacks here.
Haunting of Bly Manor, also really good. It might have been Midnight Mass. I think that one had me fucking crying too. He's really good at like bringing like the drama. It's like kind of horror drama.
So did your parents let you watch a lot of horror movies when you were a kid then?
No, yeah, for sure.
No, my
Whatever.
parents would never let me. So I
had
never
no
got
worries.
into like Friday
yeah,
the 13th or any. I
Yeah.
never got into any of that.
Yeah, whatever was on TV, they didn't give a shit, dude.
That
I was,
seems
I was
like a
raised by The Simpsons.
Genre
you know.
too, where like probably if you're not into it as a kid, that would be a weird one to jump into as an adult.
I don't
Maybe
know.
people do.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're
I
kinda
grew up
into
watching
it or
that
you're
shit
not,
and loving
you know?
it.
You're like, oh, he's a serial killer.
Yeah.
Oh, he's practicing.
I always loved that shit though. Like the Friday the 13th movies were always on, like Sci-Fi Channel, like whatever.
So I never watched any of those. Like
X-Files.
My parents wouldn't let me watch The Simpsons either.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude, because
man,
Bart's out on
yeah.
comedy, dude.
Dude, Bart Simpson said, "Eat my shorts." My mom was like,
Yeah.
"That's been disrespectful.
Yeah. Somebody had a
Go
joke.
wash your hands."
I forgot who the fuck it was. Somebody had a joke. A big comic was like there was two groups of kids. There was the kids that could watch The Simpsons and the kids that could not watch The Simpsons.
Yep.
And I was like, that is so fucking true. You
I wasn't
know?
allowed to watch The Simpsons, In Living Color, basically anything on Fox.
Bro.
That was when Fox was cool.
In Living Color is still some of the
Color
funniest shit
took some
fucking
big
ever, dude.
swings
Jim
back in the
Carrey,
day,
dude.
dude.
Swings.
So funny, dude. So funny.
I love the swing they took in Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
That clip is
Yeah.
hands down one of
Was
the
it Jim
funniest.
Carrey
It
as
was
Vanilla
Jim
Ice
Carrey
too?
as
Yeah.
Vanilla
Dude.
Ice.
Gold.
Do you know that Fire Marshal Bill was based on an actual guy?
I would assume
Was it
that
really?
that's
It was
idea
based on
somewhere,
an
yeah.
actual fire marshal from
Yeah.
California who actually got burned. Like that guy came in and did an inspection, if I'm remembering all this correctly. Like he inspected either the In Living Color set or something that Jim Carrey had something to do with.
Yeah.
And it's like, this guy's fucking thoroughly
Yeah.
inappropriate. And he's like, I'm going to do a character on this guy. So it's,
That's-
yeah.
Oh my god!
Soak him in, dude. Let me show you something. It's so, dude. Like, could you imagine
shit.
doing this today?
Oh,
I don't
they
think
got
they'd
away
let
with
they wouldn't
so
let
much.
you, dude. He's a burn victim. Look at, he's on fire, dude.
God, the cast in the show: David Allen Greer,
Oh, the Wayans
Tommy
brothers,
Davidson,
yeah.
the Wayans brothers. Talking
So
J-Lo.
funny.
It was so funny because Jim Carrey struggled as a upcoming comic.
Yeah. He said some shit recently about it. He's like, it took this team of black comics to give me a chance.
Yeah.
He was like, nobody in like these guys were out there doing their thing and they gave me a chance because obviously he's like, I think it's safe to say Jim Carrey's a comedic genius,
Well, and he also said, and
It's so good. It's so good. What strobe lights?
what I love about him though is like when he started doing stand-up comedy and like he wouldn't be the funniest, he's like, but I'll be the most memorable.
Yeah.
If he couldn't be the funniest that night, he was going to do something outrageous, outlandish, whatever it took to be noticed.
Yeah, he would
He's
always
like-
talk about going to war with the audience and shit.
Yeah.
his
He would
stand-up
tap
was like
dance on people's tables, kicking drinks
Yeah.
in the face. Like,
his stand-up was whatever, but like doing shit like this, like his getting into the acting, the comedic acting shit for him was just like his face, dude. He's got the fucking rubber face. Look at his hands on the fucking stove right now.
yeah, you can't get away with some of this stuff. Yeah, you can't get away with this stuff anymore. Okay, I see why my parents wouldn't let me watch this. Like, yeah, I get it. I wouldn't want my kids watching that either.
Yeah, Fox didn't fuck around. They were like the original HBO in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
you know, it was just like
they
going
broke
out
a lot
there
of
and-
boundaries, and now they just do
Married
shitty
with
talk
Children.
shows. Yeah, Married with Children was on.
like the original like,
Herman's
lineup.
Head. Remember Herman's Head?
No.
No?
Nobody remembers.
You were so hopeful we'd be like, oh yeah! They were like,
I was really hoping for those nostalgic moments to everybody right here.
So they were just talking about. I was catching some fucking Rogan as one does, and Donnell Rawlings was on there. Rawlings, or whatever his last name is. He was saying, I didn't know this. He was saying that the reason they have a huge Super Bowl halftime show. Did any of you guys catch this?
Yes.
Is because they didn't really do a halftime show, and In Living Color did some kind of fucking like time slot that was during the halftime, and everybody changed channels to watch. It would have been New Fox, right? Like to watch fucking In Living Color, and took all the viewers away from the Super Bowl. And this was like, it was whatever, 93, right? Or
Somewhere
92 or
thereabouts.
whatever.
That was a long
Yeah,
time ago.
Yeah,
man,
they didn't have like superstar halftime shows like we think about them now. And the next year is when they were like, well, fuck that. We're not letting everybody take our fucking viewers. And the next year was when they booked Michael Jackson.
Dropped
And
the
that was like,
A-bomb with the MJ.
Was he the first ever?
it was kind of like the first like big like they had some kind of whack ass halftime show. I don't even know what it was. It was whatever, marching bands or something. I don't know.
Okay.
And but like it wasn't like the like it's almost for us like we can't really conceive of there not being the giant halftime show. It's almost as equal to the game in some ways. It's always like the biggest artist right now. Or
I don't know.
whatever,
It's just another generation bitching and moaning, to be honest with you.
But I'm just saying, the point is that In Living Color was the reason for that. And I just thought I was like, damn, I had no idea. That's
Like
fucking
when
crazy.
J-Lo and Shakira did the halftime show.
Yeah.
Like 13-year-old me was freaking out, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I had dreamed about this my entire life.
I've dreamed about these
forgot
little
about
asses my
that.
whole life.
And my mom was like, go wash your hands.
Exactly. Damn it.
No, but like, and then, like, I don't know, man. It's entertainment, right? And so I watched that and I was like, I'm very entertained by this. It was a wonderful moment. And then like everyone's like, oh, they're old. They shouldn't be kissing or making out. I was like, I don't know what they're doing. But like
They were making
everybody
out. I
just,
missed that
I
part.
wish.
Yeah.
No, that might have been me flashing back to my dreams when I was 15. But no, like everyone just shits on whoever's the halftime performer.
It doesn't. Yeah,
Everybody
it doesn't
does.
matter.
Everybody does.
Everybody's gonna shit on it. Who would like? It's always like half the people are gonna love it and half the people are gonna shit on it.
Well,
no matter
they
who
very
it is.
much went uber safe after the whole wardrobe malfunction
Yeah,
thing
they
with
did,
Janet
yeah.
Timberlake, and
Timberlake.
and then for a couple of years after that,
It's
it was like,
gonna
yeah,
be me.
we're gonna get Dan Fogelberg, you know, 'cause
Yeah.
How the hell did Justin come out of that clean? And like
Indeed.
it ruined Janet's career.
yeah, it sure did.
How the hell did that happen?
The reason is because Timberlake's the man.
That's sound reasoning. That's sound
I don't
reasoning.
know, man.
He just went, it's gonna be me. People are like, it is gonna be.
It is gonna be. You're the chosen one.
JT.
I forgot they had a little thing there for a minute.
Oh, yeah,
Janet,
he was-
and,
was
he
Janet
dating
and Timberlake.
Janet?
He was back in the
Yeah.
day. Oh yeah.
He complained.
he's my new hero now.
This was like a thing. He was like,
Timberlake's got a
he literally
nice
said
body count.
Janet Jackson was using me for sex. And everybody's like, oh, poor fucking you, bro. Like, come on,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, you're getting zero sympathy on that one,
Yeah.
dude.
He was immediately hospitalized after being high-fived into a near coma state after that.
A lot of the shit, though, with the halftime show, that was like when the Rolling Stones went out and they were all fucked up out of their minds and fucked it all up, and then they like, so they don't, that's why they don't do like actual live music anymore and stuff, is because they were like, no, everything's got to be pre-recorded. We got way too much money into this, you know, to have fucking these
That's weak sauce.
Keith Richards out there on fucking heroin, just going, doing windmills on his guitar and shit. Just going, what the fuck?
Honestly, he's still alive.
Indeed, yes.
It just goes to show pharmaceuticals could do some amazing things.
Yeah, yeah. He's just got the perfect balance of drugs and pharmaceuticals and everything else. It's just,
dude.
if he stops doing one thing, he'll die.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just this perfect fucking
It's a finely
sauce.
honed cocktail.
Like, how do you get that cocktail? Like, oh, I almost died.
Give me the Keith Richards.
Got to dial back the heroin.
I got COVID. Let me get the Keith Richards combo. You know, like,
Yeah, dude, he made it through everything.
yeah, for sure. They're still out there doing it, dude.
Oh, dude, if we go through nuclear war, he's
Yeah.
the only one that's going to
It's him and cockroaches.
And Twinkies.
That's yeah,
That is
and Twinkies. That's right. That's right.
We still see they're always posting like, you know, little videos and shit of Mick Jagger like training, and the guy's insane.
Well,
He's
that's
still
why
dancing his ass off.
That's
and
why
going
he's so
fucking
healthy,
nuts,
because
man.
he fucking like. They did some kind of. I saw this thing one time. I don't remember the numbers, but they did some kind of like actually like calorie count of how much he burns on stage every night, because he's literally running back and forth the whole
What was the
time.
calorie count?
I don't know what it. I can't remember the numbers.
man.
Sorry, I'm just saying they like literally did a fucking study on the guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know.
We're like, how can he put all that stuff in his body and still be skinny?
Exactly. Well, that's why. It's just pure heroin, no food, running around, you know.
Weight Watchers base their entire formula on it. Just keep moving.
Honestly, though, so much of that shit, like, oh, I'm getting old and I'm feeling like, you just let yourself get that way, man. You
Yeah,
keep the
you gotta
body going, you're fucking
keep it
good.
going.
Dude. Like, all this stuff
I
just
don't know,
keep
man. The body
it
doesn't
rolling,
bounce
baby.
back
Keep
like
it rolling.
it used to, dude.
Yeah, that's true. But
It doesn't bounce
you
back.
don't got the same recovery time. But again, if you like keep working out or
You know,
whatever,
you just gotta make sure you're taking care of yourself at all times.
health is a real priority for me. As you,
Dude, I had one beer tonight. I'm going to go home and take aspirin and have water by my bedside and be like, oh, I can't deal with tomorrow.
you're gonna wake up tomorrow. Like, oh, God. You had one Oberon.
Yeah, right.
It's not the alcohol. It's just the shitty Oberon.
I like our Oberon. Yeah, this non-Kalamazoo
Don't be coming
guy.
for Oberon.
Yeah, I lived in
Son,
Kalamazoo for like 6 years. I was never a big Oberon fan.
Is that how you got through college? 6 years?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's right. I was doing a lot of book reports on Stephen King at the time. It was a rough stretch, bro.
Oh, man. I'm looking for the law degree, but I don't do it. So what did you study in college?
Graphic design, baby.
Okay, all right. And how about you?
Sales and business marketing.
Okay, all right. Criminal justice.
Nice, too.
yeah.
Okay.
CJ the easy way, right?
right.
Yeah. I was watching a lot of Law and Order back then.
Yeah, indeed.
I want to be a cop. That's when cops were cool.
Law and Order, the
that's what
SVU or whatever, the SUV.
The
Remember
SUV.
Sopranos, the SUV.
Did you try and do anything with it? Like, were you trying to go into law enforcement? Did you do anything?
I was actually accepted into the New York State Trooper Academy.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I got it. It's so funny because I was actually, your junior year, you go to an ROTC camp. Oh, for us, it was out at Fort Lewis, Washington. And so I took the New York State Police exam. I took the NYPD exam for extra credit. So our teacher would give us extra credit because I was pretty sure I was going to go into the Army afterwards. And then I was at advanced camp and I was calling my mom from advanced camp from a payphone.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those things.
I had to leave
Come
a
again.
message on
Well,
the answering machine.
And so it's a state test. So they take the top folks and then they just work their numbers down. And so my mom's like, "You got a package from the New York State Police?" And I was like, "Oh, those bastards got me like running a red light or like tagging speed. And I was like, those assholes. Yeah, I was like, I hate those guys.
Finally caught up to me.
I was like, well, just to open it up, how much money do I owe? And she was like, your number's up to become a state trooper, and I still had a year left of college.
Oh, nice.
So I was able to defer it because 13,000 people took the test, and they just take you from 1 to whatever.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll just take it afterwards, and then 9/11 happened. And that changed
The other
my
12,999 people dropped out.
No.
On top of the list, and the rest is history.
Actually, NYPD went through a huge because when you retire at your highest 3 salaries, and after 9/11, because so many of them worked overtime,
Right.
that they had to retire if they were of retirement age because they would never make that much money again because of all the overtime. So they went through a huge retirement after 9/11.
Yeah.
So,
Probably just people wanting to get out too and stuff. That's a lot.
They saw
That was
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So when I saw that, I was like, I'm going to switch my commission from National Guard to active duty.
Mm-hmm.
But what I didn't know is that you go to the needs of the Army. And so I was
Right,
going to be
right.
an infantry officer, and I was like, yeah, infantry front lines, let's go.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked my professor of military science, and I was like, hey, will I still be an infantry officer? He's like, David, we're going to war. We need infantry officers now more than ever, son. Whenever somebody from the military or the government calls you son, they are lying to their teeth, right? And so I graduated.
Get in there, catch those bullets, son.
So I graduated and got commissioned, and they were like, hey, you're going to get reassessed. I was like, oh, sure, no problem. They'll still come back infantry, whatever. And so then I graduated college. I went home like 3 weeks later. I get a call, not from the professor of military science, from the assistant professor of military science, who was an ordnance officer, which is combat service support. And I'll remember playing the answering machine, and I clicked it, and the dude had the biggest Boston accent. So you get a weird mix in Vermont. So a lot of Bostonians, a lot of upstate New Yorkers. And so he was like, hey, yo, Steve, guess what? You're a loggy just like me. And I was like, no. I was like, why? Ended up being a blessing in disguise. Logistics, ordnance. So it's something you can actually take out of the military with you.
Yeah. That's because you got a degree, basically. Is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah, so I have a criminal justice degree.
Yeah.
You would have thought, hey, criminal justice, this guy would be a good military police officer. Army doesn't work that way.
It seems like they would want you out of the into. I could see why.
The Army doesn't do that.
Yeah.
So I was an ordnance officer, which is pretty cool. So it's maintenance and munitions, and we ran a lot of convoys over there, and it was fun. But
over where?
Iraq in 2005, and then I was in Afghanistan in 2008.
Gotcha. So you did that's 2 tours then. So you came home between
one of each. One of each.
Just took a little tour. Just did the tour. It was fine.
Well, Iraq wasn't anything to look at, but Afghanistan, I was over on the border of Afghanistan and Pakistan.
Okay.
Super cool.
Really?
Beautiful mountainous area. Other than the war,
other than the death and carnage is pretty sweet.
No, it's beautiful countryside.
Right.
I don't think enough people talk about how amazing the Afghan people are.
Yeah.
Incredibly hospitable. Super.
They got the best blankets. Thank you. All right, everybody. That's the wrap.
I can't stop that. No, but not a lot of people talk about how hospitable they are.
Yeah.
We got to open schools.
Yeah.
We got to help the infrastructure out. So we got to do a lot and see a lot of really cool things. So I would go back to Afghanistan in a heartbeat because you can live on $5,000 for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And with the way that the stock market's going, that's probably where I'm going to have to live, to be honest with you.
Did you ever have any opportunity to eat any local food?
Absolutely.
And how was it?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of goat.
Hey, I love fucking Indian food, Middle Eastern food, all that shit's my jam.
It's so good.
But Afghan.
Oh, that's me.
Holy shit.
Look at that.
Look at you, handsome fella. You look like Steven Spielberg right now, bro.
Still have the beard. That was a couple pounds ago.
Doesn't he look like a young Spielberg?
I thought you were fucking around. Is that actually you?
No. No, but the people in Afghanistan are absolutely
I
wonderful.
thought that literally was you, so I thought you're not joking.
No. I wasn't allowed to have a beard. But we were stationed.
Right.
We were stationed with some special forces dudes, and I want to be quite clear. I don't want you guys to get any feedback. I was not special forces. Got to hang out, but one of the coolest things, so I get to this, it's called Fire Base Chimkani. There's not a lot of literature on it. It's a small fire base right on the border. And this dude comes up to me in like a Metallica t-shirt, full beard,
Yeah.
and he's like, David Steves. And I'm like, what's up, bro? And he's like, you don't remember me? And I was like, dude, you got facial hair, Metallica t. Like, I had my name tapes on, my rank and my name tapes. Like, that's kind of easy.
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, it's Angel Rodriguez. We went to Norwich together. I was like, holy crap.
Nice,
like,
nice.
two guys who went to a small military school. So he
that's
left,
wild, man.
He left after his freshman year to go enlist in the Army, and he had already made E7. And he was there. He was Special Forces. And so it was just us and the Special Forces team. We were what's called an embedded training team. And so we were just out there winning hearts and minds and, doing stuff with the Afghan border police. So that's the second time my criminal justice degree came in handy.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But working with those guys were so cool.
I
And
bet.
just like, you get to see through a whole different lens, like how it works. But yeah, the people of Afghanistan are absolutely wonderful. So it's a beautiful country, except for the whole war thing.
Apparently,
Terrorists.
Afghanistan has the best weed in the world too.
Okay, so we had a new group come into our area for our ETT. So we have a security force, and so our security force initially was from New York, which was great because I'm a New
Right.
Yorker as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
And they left halfway through our turn, and then we got this new team in Kentucky. It was one of those. Anyway, we're driving, and like one of the sergeants brings us to a tactical halt, and I'm just like, holy crap, what happened? Like, is there something in the road? What's going on?
Yeah.
So, we clear off the road. I'm going up and down. I'm like, hey, what's going on? What's the sit rep? What's the sit rep? And the guy's like, sir, this is the biggest weed plant I've ever seen. Like, we don't stop convoys for weed plants. But yeah, when we had to send our Afghan border police to basic training, they tested them for drugs. So we had to be like, hey, you can't smoke weed for like a month.
Right.
And they were like high all the time.
Yeah.
Like bloodshot eyes,
Yeah.
and I was like,
Apparently, especially at that time, like now shit's crazy with shit being legal and whatever, but apparently at that time, especially, it was like the shit coming from Afghanistan was just like crazy white crystals and crazy ass shit, dude.
you sure you're not talking about coke? Or opium?
No, I'm definitely
No,
talking
so
about
it's
weed,
known for
but yeah.
opium. It's
Yeah.
known for opium too.
Yeah, true that. Yeah, James Bond. That's why he was there.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when we were getting ready to go over, I went to Fort Riley, Kansas for the ETT school, the embedded training team.
Okay.
And we had a guy who was from another state, and he was actually a DEA agent.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, I got to go back. And I was like, how long ago were you there? He was like, I just got back from my DEA stint. Now I got to go
Right.
with the National Guard. And I was like, oh, man.
Damn.
Oh, there we go. See,
opium
that's the
farming,
opium.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Damn,
See, I know what I'm talking about.
that's a nice flower there. I didn't know that it was like.
It's dope looking. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
awesome.
You give that to Mom for Mother's Day. It's a new flower. Oh, yeah. Gul Muhammad. What up, dog?
That's crazy.
Yeah. No, the Afghan. I actually have a Afghan wardrobe. The Zargul, Colonel Zargul, who is the person I was mentoring. He was a very successful businessman. Most of them are. And so, but he dedicated his life to the Afghan border police after the whole thing went off. And he bought me my own little Afghan garb.
Nice.
Nice. That's
Doesn't
awesome.
fit anymore.
You better slim down.
I know, right? No, I'm okay now wearing it. No, but it was cool because he sent that
Yeah.
to me, and
You don't wear it when you're gonna get on a flight or something, you know, for
no.
comfort.
I just strapped road flares to it for Halloween.
No, it's for comfort.
He's a fat terrorist.
I dated this chick one time that bought this scarf. She's like, oh, it's such a pretty scarf or whatever. Then found out later from a friend that it was some kind of ISIS type thing.
Oh,
It's really-
right.
You'll have
unfortunate,
that.
man.
So I used to work with a guy, and it was so funny because his wife's name was ISIS.
Yeah.
And so we had a plant, and I don't work for this company anymore, so I don't want this tracked back to me. But there's this plant. It was funny. It was in Vermont, and this person on the back of their truck had a "fuck ISIS" flag on there, and they're like, "Hey man, you can't be flying that." And so they had to make him roll it up. But then my boss at the time, unraveled it, took a picture of it, sent it to his wife, and he's like, "They don't like you here."
That's hilarious.
I was like, "That's awesome."
Yeah. It is kind of fucked up because Isis was like, it's whatever, some kind of Greek goddess or
Yeah,
something. And
yeah.
like, you know, and there's
He's like, no, I'm cool with the terrorist group. I just don't like the band. You know?
yeah, well, yeah, it's a great band. It's a great metal band. It's a Catwoman's cat.
Yeah.
Is Isis. It's a great name that's used for many things. And
It's
it's
some
like
deep cut
just
Catwoman
Thank you,
knowledge. I
thank
think
you,
it's well
yeah.
played, sir. Well played.
but yeah, it's like now it's like, oh, we can't fucking say ISIS without it being. And it's like, well, wait a minute here. It's been just completely co-opted. You know.
Yeah. Can you imagine like your name
is
being your
American.
name
Yeah.
your whole life, and then they're like this new terrorist group out of Russia called David. I'm like, no, God
damn it.
Well, how do you think all the other Hitlers felt back in the day?
Anybody Adolf anymore.
Charlie Chaplin got his whole mustache co-opted. He's like, I gotta go goatee now?
Yeah, you're right.
It's
You're
out of
right. It's a
control.
true story. It's a
Yeah,
true story.
thanks a lot, Harvey Weinstein. Now all those fat bearded white guys think about it.
Weinstein now, you know, like, fuck. All right, boys, let's take a little break because
I
I'm
love
going
it.
to drink here.
Awesome.
About American Pie, the crucial American Pie fucking banter here.
That was one of
Pure
those,
Michigan.
That's right.
that was one of the rare movies that got Siskel and Ebert double thumbs up for like a high school raunchy type kind. Because universally that stuff gets shit on, obviously.
right,
It's all
right,
dick
right.
jokes
About
and
the
stuff.
credits,
Everybody's just like, it's the funniest thing ever made.
It was really well
It's
made.
great,
It was a
man.
good movie.
It holds
the
up. I
first
watched it a
one
few
was
years
fucking
back.
solid. It was a great movie.
Second through 17,
Yeah.
not so much. But
The second one was kind of like okay, but then like I don't know, they made all those spin-offs and whatever, which I didn't fuck all that.
I mean, it came out at the right time, though. Like, especially in my life, right? Like, they talked about, like losing your virginity and all that stuff, and like, I mean, it was just all relatable. It was very relatable.
yeah, that part became way more relatable to me in my 30s.
Mm-hmm.
But I really had an appreciation for all that after the
Oh
fact.
man, me
yeah.
too. Yeah.
So listen, we should fucking switch gears a little bit here and talk about what's going on in the world.
Oh my gosh,
You know?
it's getting crazy.
Yes.
It is indeed getting
It's
crazy,
indeed getting
gentlemen.
crazy. I, for one, do not have anything to contribute to today's news thing.
That you just brought us up, and we're like, yeah, this one's craziness. We're like, I don't know any of it.
I have a whole bunch of things with jokes pending. I did not get them. I did not get them in.
Fortunately, boys, I've got a litany of terrible, terrible jokes. So we'll just get right into it. No
Let's
preamble.
get right into it.
No pomp and circumstance. We'll jump right in,
The
baby.
Dangerville podcast presents News of the World.
All right.
My eardrums, thank you for correcting the sound level there. Appreciate that, brother. All right, boys. First up on the dock, these are all terrible. I'm going to preface this. These are not good. Fritz Peterson, Yankees pitcher who traded wives with teammate Mike Kekich, dies at age 81.
Okay.
Okay. So Fritz Peterson, the New York Yankees pitcher who famously swapped wives and families with teammate Mike Kekich in 1973, has died of lung cancer.
Well, I love that this is what he's the most famous thing for.
Yes, this is
real quick.
literally the first
He's a
thing in the
professional
bio for
athlete.
sure.
Like, we did the initial wife swap.
It's a far more impressive move to pull off that than pitching in the majors and
Gorgeous-looking
famous.
ladies. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a good looking crew right there for
That's a
sure.
good looking. I mean, you can't really go wrong.
Indeed. So coincidentally, as the designated hitter was also introduced in 1973, the pitchers assumed a wife swap might be their last and only chance to fulfill their lifelong dream of being able to bat through the lineup. I've got like 10 more, and they're all just bad, but I'm going to go through
Let's get a couple more.
I was going to quit while I was ahead, but now, baby.
I can see a couple.
I got
good
baseball
ones.
puns for days here.
Yeah.
So let's see. His wife complained about him definitely losing a little bit off his fastball in his later years, but still credit him with being able to get the job done with a pretty decent knuckler.
That's how you stay in the game longer. Learn that knuckler, man.
Fritz was able to give his first wife 4 2/3 strong, but decided he finally needed a pitcher who could go a little bit deeper into the game. That was a small penis joke. I'm not sure if that one was entirely clear. Nah.
Yeah.
Fritz's new wife took a while to warm up to him, reportedly making him wait 6 months before letting him get to second base.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's good. That's good.
And
I
after
like that.
one game, the men even tried to share one of the wives, using the line, "The concession stand might be closed, but there's another way you can get a couple of wieners at this ballpark."
Yes.
All right, boys, we're off and running.
I love
Nice
that.
work.
That was
Nice work.
great.
This one didn't make the cut last week, but I was a little short on material, so we bumped it down. So this is the B
All right.
squad here.
Okay.
Aloe gel recalled as FDA warns methanol exposure can cause blindness and coma, gentlemen.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So the FDA announced that 40 lots of Aruba aloe gel were voluntarily recalled due to the presence of methanol, exposure to which can lead to a coma or blindness.
Jesus.
Yeah. The FDA called it a stark reminder to teens everywhere and reiterated the importance of masturbating with a methanol-free lubricant such as Vaseline or any number of natural shea butters from the good folks at Jergens, gentlemen.
Well, there's some joke. That's good.
About going blind
Yes,
from
it's in there,
masturbating.
right? Yes. It's how do you get there? Because
I was going to rework it. I was
yes.
like, nah.
Yeah.
I'll be riding with
I
this one.
love that.
Appropriate Neo up there,
Indeed.
wrapping the
Yeah, can we just take a moment
super
on this
tight,
shirt
this
right now?
inappropriately tight
Did you
Matrix
just
shirt.
get this shirt? It's like brand new.
I was at Kohl's a couple of weeks ago, and they had it for like $8 on sale,
jeez,
but they only
yeah,
had
that's
a
a-
medium left, and I'm like, yeah, fuck
That's
it.
that's a Smeagol for
It's
sure.
the best fucking shirt I've ever
I was like,
seen.
this guy's trying to show off his muscles.
This
man.
fucking,
Look at him
I knew
go.
I was gonna catch a relentless amount of shit, so I'm like,
This
can I even?
fucking-
I had the hoodie on over top, and I'm like, I gotta rep Matrix
Soaking
super
the
hard,
fish
bro.
burn though in the corner
Oh,
here
yeah.
for 10 with the
Oh,
with
yeah.
the fucking
Can we get a close up on both
Thing.
the pecs? The tremendous gun situation.
Dude, he hasn't breathed normally in like the last hour. He's just trying to
struggling to get to the
I've been
block.
sucking in David Hasselhoff style for the last 20 minutes. Clearly, we're never going to get paid for this podcast, so the only prayer I have is maybe somebody thinking I'm marginally swollen getting laid as a result of doing it. Something shamelessly going to do. It's
We're gonna
be-
fly- we're gonna flash his
swole's gonna
number.
get you laid, dude. It's the Matrix shirt.
We're implementing a
Yeah.
strict suns out, guns out policy for the remainder of summer.
Sure,
It's nothing but
summertime,
tank
yeah.
tops from here on out. All right, boys, we'll
What
keep it
about
moving.
Matrix
right along.
related tank tops?
A California dog missing since the summer is found in Michigan.
That's a long
A
way
happy
out.
story, yeah, real
I saw
homeward
this
bound
one.
deal
I
for
saw this
sure.
one, yeah.
So a dog missing in California since summer turned up more than 2,000 miles away in suburban Detroit.
Yeah.
The Grosse Pointe Animal Adoption Society said they would return the dog to its California owners, but only if they agreed to take Kid Rock as a condition of the deal.
Yes.
So that dog's still in Michigan.
All right, boys. West Coast whale population recovers 5 years after hundreds washed up ashore.
Wow.
We got all sorts of good, feel-good animal-related
Yes,
stories here.
yes.
Tremendous stuff. So federal researchers indicate that the gray whale population along the West Coast is showing signs of recovery 5 years after hundreds washed up dead on beaches from Alaska to Mexico.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Real, I don't know. I got nothing.
It's a whale story.
That's a whale.
Wait a minute, did you just write that?
What are you talking
No, I was
about?
trying to come up with a little interim something. I cannot do that. But the terrible punchline to that joke is director Darren Aronofsky was credited with
Jesus
luring
Christ.
the first whale back to the West
Oh,
Coast
no.
by graciously agreeing to direct an 8-part miniseries taking place in Southern California, starring the former Oscar winner.
Just stop. Is he doing some kind of miniseries or something? What are you talking about?
no.
Okay.
No, he's not.
All right,
No.
okay.
It's a joke about
Yes.
bringing Brendan Fraser back to the West Coast. Yes. We had a solid 30 to 35 episode run of
Literally.
consistent Brendan Fraser fat whale
Probably
jokes.
about 30 episodes. So
Each one more hilarious than the
so
last.
you can
if
go
I
back
do
to our
say so
previous
myself.
episodes for way more lackluster Brendan Fraser material.
I love it.
All right, boys, and last but not least, I'm not gonna lie, I was on the fence about this one. This one's a little risque. Bear with me here. So, a new declaration in Mexico gives 19 cats roaming the presidential palace food and care forever. Yes, both this article and my joke are riddled with terrible, terrible puns. The palace cats have made history.
Oh, Jesus.
It's their words, not mine. After the government of Mexican President Andres Manuel López Obrador has obligated the country's treasury to give them food and care for the rest of their lives.
I'm going to allow that.
Yeah.
Those are some good-looking cats.
The government initially balked at the request, but eventually gave in, noting that this wasn't the first time a president has used federal funds to pay for pussy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is
You know, you brought it back around. I love that.
I mean,
News of the
that
world.
couldn't have been any more predictable or hack material
If
for
you
sure.
didn't go with that joke, I would have been strongly disappointed.
But sometimes that's what comedy is, saying what's already in other people's heads.
Yeah.
And they're like, I did the same thing.
You know,
That's
pointing out the
hilarious.
obvious is comedy, my friends. I'm like a young George Carlin.
Absolutely. I was like, you better stop right now.
Whoa. We gotta get some Super Troopers clips.
do gotta get some Super Troopers
clips.
Bonus story. So a little over 3 years ago, the International Space Station cut load this load of like a cargo pallet that had 5,800 pounds of dead batteries on it. Okay.
Wow.
Last month, it smashed through this dude's fucking roof, man. And just kind of a wild thing. Not
That
really,
is fucking
especially
crazy,
interesting
dude.
when he's telling everybody, he's like, I think this is something from NASA. And everybody's going, okay, yeah, buddy. You know?
No, really. The fucking some NASA shit crashed into my yard, man.
Yeah, I heard-
Yeah, sure thing, Bob. Sure thing, buddy.
I heard he was super charged up about it.
But the dead batteries.
Speaks pretty highly to the quality of the manufacturing of the batteries, though, to
You
survive
figure
that
they
kind
burn
of
up,
re-entry through
yeah.
impact. Yeah, that's an impressive feat, to be sure.
That is wild. That's some wild shit.
B-Dub, can we, I don't know if I sent this over or not, man. Can we try and pull up something? I just wanted to, it's like a 2-second thing, but there was this thing, this guy was making this speech in Parliament. I think it was like Georgian Parliament or something. And there's this like really controversial bill going on. And this dude bum rushes the fucking podium and did you see this? Lights this guy.
I didn't actually watch it. I think I saw like a.
This happened recently?
Yeah, I think it was just a few days back.
This is how politics
Georgia.
should be, to be honest with you.
Indeed.
We should have more cage matches in politics, I think.
Oh, people would not run their mouth as much if you did that.
This guy's. You know about that reference to the 1930s? I'd like to take a brief moment to address. Oh, Jesus Christ!
And then they cut the camera.
That old school camera coming the lines is so good.
Technical difficulties.
We'll be back in a second.
So
Look at this guy making
So
an
good.
impassioned
So
speech
good.
here. Just going, yeah. And another thing about that.
Dude, the guy behind him fell asleep. He was like, oh!
It was kind of a bitch punch too. He like caught him in like the side of the head or
You
something.
hit me in
Look at
the
it.
ear.
Yeah. Who hit somebody in the ear? Yeah, it's like,
That was a hammer punch. I like it.
Come on with that strong overhand right, bro.
that was great.
It's like, watch this, Kyrgyzstan.
Everybody from
yes.
those stands are some bad motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Everybody
dude.
from the UFC and shit right now, it's all sorts of dudes from Eastern Europe just lighting people
Yeah,
up.
that lived through the fall of communism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they had to like fend for just
Yeah.
water and bread.
Dude.
They're like,
They
oh, you
go-
want a loaf of bread? You gotta fight for it. Like, yeah, Khabib's undefeated. He's been undefeated since he was 6. Yeah, no shit.
How did he think he got so big? He was the only motherfucker with food. When he got to fight for a loaf of bread.
His dad made him fight a bear. Like, he's like, oh, we can't go hungry. You gotta fight this bear. What the hell?
Going some straight up 300 Spartan shit right there, bro.
All right. Must slay this bear and be the savior of this country. That's Dagestan, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is!
Whoa, soaking a little bit.
Wow.
Actually, the bear's
No, to be fair, that's a fucking baby bear. Come on. I can fuck up that bear.
That bear's got the double underhooks in a second ago. He's soaking this bear. The BJJ
That bear's
is
just
strong.
playing with him.
That's a brown belt bear at a minimum, bro.
I'd fuck that bear up, dude.
Can you imagine being
Fuck
a gay
that
guy,
bear.
like looking up bear videos and got that? You're like,
Yes.
I mean, it kind of doesn't work. Oh, he's on a leash! Alright, that's a
Yeah, that's a bitch ass
Sauce,
bear, dude. Come on.
Yeah, that's like Davy Crockett.
Oh, that's just a cute little bear.
I mean, it's a pretty
They're just-
disconcerting
Oh, the bear's
sight.
They're just playing.
Can you imagine growing up with no toys and your dad's like, oh, you get to play with a bear today?
I dropped
Don't
fucking
die.
elbow on that fucking bear, dude. Bam!
Look at the
Stuffed
old,
Teddy.
yeah, he's trying to do a
Going for the
choke on
stunner.
him.
Going for the Stone Cold Stunner right there. He missed. Look at this bear, though. It's got, like, legit wrestling. I've never really seen a bear do this
Bear
kind of shit. It's
fuck
kind of
you up,
fucking my
dude.
world
from
up right now. dude.
1997.
Yeah, this home
Yeah.
camcorder here.
Yeah, that's actually Khabib.
That's fucking out of
You
control.
know, you couldn't
dude.
do that in the United States.
Yeah, that's true.
There's like agencies that prevent this.
Yeah.
Well, you want that belt,
Yeah.
though. You want that UFC championship belt.
I'm
baby.
gonna
That's
give
what
that
it
belt
takes
to
to get
the
it
bear.
done,
The
dude.
bear's got to take it too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They bite in the back of his head.
Get me out of here!
Maybe it does look like some of those other bear videos.
We gotta
I
get
don't
a
know.
bear
man.
locked up out here. We gotta get a bear.
You're gonna have all the guests wrestle the
Yeah,
bear.
like, you gotta wrestle the bear at the end of the fucking pod, dude. You know?
That's awesome. Oh my
The
god,
young Khabib doing work right here.
dude,
sure.
that's
Good shit,
that's
dude.
crazy.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. So
You
what
guys
else
ever
is going on?
wrestle bears? You guys ever wrestle bears?
I like my chances
I
against
fucked
the
up a
bear.
raccoon pretty good.
Oh yeah.
There's actually some videos on the internet like raccoons are going after children, and moms are the best.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Moms
fuck
are
around,
just
dude.
grabbing this raccoon, just like.
Fucking that thing up, dude. I'd punt a raccoon, dude. I'd go straight for the kick, dude.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Now I'm dropping bows on that thing. Don't come down fucking
Yeah.
ways to it.
So I caught a mouse in my house once, and my kids were like, "You gotta let it go," and I was like, "Ah!" And so like I went outside to like release the mouse, and I accidentally threw it, and it hit the tree.
I accidentally threw it into a tree at an extremely hard rate.
And I was like, "Oh no!" And then it went down, and the kids were like, "Is it okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's good."
Fine. It's fine.
Mouse is taking a little nap out here, so it's gonna be fine.
It's been an exciting day. It's really tired.
Daddy, that mouse seems to be hemorrhaging a tremendous amount of blood right now.
Yeah.
I'm not Dr. Doolittle or anything.
Oh, I had
This
a
doesn't
dog
seem
of mine. A dog I actually got from Korea when I lived in Korea. I brought a dog back home with me because they actually eat dog in Korea.
I was gonna make I was going for that joke immediately.
Yeah, I got him out of a butcher shop.
Yeah, he saved it. Saved it from the restaurant.
I legit rescued him from being an appetizer.
Wow.
He was a small
Jesus,
dog.
Yeah.
And so
Delicious.
Delicious, by the way. Yeah.
Well,
Excellent.
So it's so
Excellent.
funny because we had Korean cooks on base, and they had their own Korean food restaurant, which is right next to where we were housed. And like she would pet the dog, but like sizing him up. Like it wasn't like a pet this. She was like, oh, he's getting bigger, and I'm like,
Tenderizer.
I'm like, I swear to God, if Sammy goes missing, like
That's hilarious.
oh, dude. But he got actually. Oh, this was the saddest. This was the worst. I think this is why my ex-wife left me. So he was in the backyard, and she started hearing like all this squealing, and I was like, she's like, you got to go out there and find out what's going on. And like he's playing with something, and I just see like these things getting thrown in the air, and I go out there and I grab my dog. He dug up a bunny's nest.
Oh, yeah.
And was like doing what dogs do, right? Thought it was toys, and he died of cancer. If that makes it any better.
There is a silver lining.
I mean, he got what's coming to him, right? But like, I had to go out there and
That'll happen.
Oh, dude,
euthanize like 6 baby bunnies.
exact same thing. And, that one tortures the soul a little bit. But what do you
Also,
do?
though,
You know?
you killed the bunnies by launching them into that same tree. Didn't you? I know what you were doing. I don't know what else to do. Fuck!
We can't release this episode.
Pete is gonna be all over it. This
I'm gonna
one's
get
stricken
canned.
for the record.
I'm gonna go to an open mic coming soon. They're gonna throw red blood on me.
This might be just the boost we need. We need to intentionally send this episode to PETA, get a little traction going.
Yeah.
That's probably the move there.
Beat Up just lost a fucking another chicken, you were saying, right? To a hawk. or something.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I woke up the other day and it was definitely a fox attack because I could see the big puff of like 8-foot feathers and then feathers that trail off into the woods.
Oh man, that's disconcerting.
How many chickens do you have, B-dubs?
I'm down to 7 now.
It was either
What did you start
fox
with?
or my sketchy neighbor that lives in the double line. I'm not sure. It could have been either one.
I mean,
Could have been either one.
I had 20 altogether, but there's
you're
been
down to 7 out of 20.
yeah, it's freedom isn't free. All right, they're free range chickens. They fight the hawks, the foxes, the coyotes.
You might want to start raising something else, though.
Yeah, but those fresh eggs, they taste so good.
Oh my gosh, dude.
Survival of the fittest, bro. The 7 that are left are
Yeah,
just...
I know.
Yeah, they're real mean.
They're like young
They're
caboons.
real. They're like the Jets. They're like walking in step. Right?
It's a real SEAL Team 6 situation. All right, boys, we got Charlies all around us here.
That rooster is worthless, though. He's the first one to go run and hide when something happens.
Seriously? Those are his, right? He's supposed to protect them.
He's supposed to.
Yeah.
Should be fired.
That's a real mighty cock you get there, dude.
Mighty God.
A lot of cock. Some sort of cock.
Yes, all cock, no balls. Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm dying.
Those are all terribly, terribly depressing stories.
Yeah.
Thank you for bringing those up.
Anyways,
Any more small animal death tragedies?
horribly depressing segment of the podcast here.
Yeah, I don't know where to pivot, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I got nothing to
We're going to classic
go back to
fallback.
dick jokes?
So who are your favorite comedians?
Yeah.
I actually kind of want to discover TV shows because you guys said Game of Thrones was in your top 5. What is your top 5 TV shows?
Ooh, that's a bold
Yeah,
question.
That is
that's
a great question.
The Sopranos.
Ooh.
The Sopranos.
I think we're going to be pretty close on most of these. Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
I wasn't a huge.
Well, it's like we talk like it's hard because there's so many. Is it comedy? Is it everything? What is it? You know, Seinfeld, The Simpsons. I mean, the comedy shit. I mean, that's.
I would agree with Breaking Bad being
Bad's
Breaking Bad's in my top
probably up
5.
there.
I never even finished it. It's
It's
not even in my
really
fucking
great,
top.
man.
Nah.
You didn't finish it?
Meh.
It's very good.
Moving on.
You know what?
Thank you, B-Dubs. It was
Stinks.
fantastic.
Very good. Very good.
Oh, it is fantastic.
Band of Brothers is
slow.
the shit for sure.
I maintain Breaking Bad, the last half of the last season of Breaking Bad might be the finest anything ever made, dude. It is.
Wire. The
I couldn't
Wire's the
get into
shit.
The Wire. I watched
love
like the
Wire,
first
dude.
2 seasons and I was like, it's okay.
Love The
Same.
Wire.
I'm not a big
The
cop
Wire's
show
the
guy.
best.
Sopranos.
The Sopranos is the number one. I don't think anything could beat The Sopranos. Honestly,
honestly, I still watch The Office. Like that. I know that's such like a
It's definitely a top.
40-year-old white thing to say. Like,
yeah.
It's a great show, though,
Yeah.
man. And you
Yeah,
get
Thrones.
bonus points for
New
being
one.
a
They got the new
legitimately
one.
funny show that's on network television because you got so many more guardrails.
Yeah.
Like HBO, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You're
Yeah.
trying to be funny
Yeah.
within the lines of the FTC.
They got
you
the
know?
new Sopranos coming out. Or sorry, Jesus Christ, the new Office. They're casting it now. It's like all over all the entertainment.
really?
No
There's
more
a
fucking
new-
remakes.
It's
No
not a-
remakes.
it's not a-
It's a
don't get me wrong,
remake
it
of a
stinks.
remake. Come on now.
It's it's the new. Basically, they got a new fucking version. It's not like a remake. It's like a new continuation. I guess you could say.
Okay.
You know.
Shogun, I gotta get on
Everybody's
this. I've
talking
heard
about
enough of
Shogun.
the great things.
Yeah,
Beat up. I know
yeah.
you're
I've
preaching it. My
seen
mom's
that either.
preaching
Oh,
it.
26?
Yeah,
That's
even
ridiculous.
Lower.
Oh, get out of
I'm
here.
hating. I'm hating.
You are.
I'm bringing that haterade, bro.
I'm gonna
Dude,
give
how
you.
is Sons of Anarchy not on here?
I love
That's what
Sons of
I'm doing.
Anarchy. Thank you, dude. It's fucking fantastic.
If I wasn't
right?
a corporate,
Firefly's
I would
classic.
sell everything and just be on a Harley, dude.
Sons of Anarchy rules. FX, I've said many, many times.
does
Sorry
rule.
for our thousands of listeners. FX is what HBO used to be.
Oh yeah,
FX is
yeah.
fucking choice, man. Like if it's an
Seinfeld.
FX show, you can bank on it being.
The
How is
first,
Seinfeld only
the first
39?
fucking 10, 12, 14 seasons of The Simpsons is the fucking
Yep.
That
best
first
shit.
season
Yeah,
of True
I was so
Detective.
late to
First
the
season
game.
of True
Yeah.
Detective is among the greatest
True
things
I
ever
haven't
Detective.
made.
seen True Detective yet.
True Detective's great, but like
It's
The
a very-
Wire, like The Sopranos is nothing can fuck with The Sopranos. Let's just start there, and then The Wire is right up there too. Those are the ones that were like the early HBO. They were ahead of their time. Nothing like that existed at that time. And The Sopranos
true.
is so good that I can't even rewatch it. Like I've refused to rewatch it.
Succession
Can we
making
watch it?
an honorable
It's too
mention
good.
at 55.
It's too good. I don't want to be like fucking. I was like, you're like living with these people or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was
I'm
the
so invested.
worst ending ever.
Not ever.
That's
not
why,
ever.
That's
Not-
yes, it was. It just went black. people start calling HBO and they're like, "Oh, you guys didn't finish it," and they're like, "Oh, joke's on you."
I appreciated it more the second time around. The first time around, I was like, I need a little more. But then I watched it. I was like, all right, it was really great. David Chase is that guy, right?
Yeah.
David Chase left the show like 2 years before the end and spent those 2 years focusing solely on the last scene of that last episode and meticulously crafted
Well, then maybe
every
it could have
second.
been a little better. All right.
I'm going to give you boys
dude.
two sleeper picks. I wouldn't say these are in my top 5, but they're among the best shows I've ever seen. They don't get talked about a lot. I'm going to give them some love.
Okay.
One is Homeland, which was a Showtime show starring Claire Danes. It's a CIA show.
That's a good show.
And her character in that show is among the best characters in television history.
Claire
It
Danes is real
fucking
It's that redhead
fantastic.
dude too. Goes back in these radicalized from a PW camp.
Yep, it's fantastic, dude. And what's the supporting guy's name in the show? He's great. Saul, the guy with the beard right there.
he's
Saul's
fantastic.
tremendous. Patinkin, Manny Patinkin.
Yes.
He's fucking fantastic. Another great show, which I've never talked to anybody who's seen this. It was on AMC, and it was called Halt and Catch Fire.
Yeah, I know that name.
And it's kind of loosely
based.
based on like the initial personal computer rise to prominence. It starts out like in the 80s.
Oh wow.
It's fucking awesome.
The Social Network?
Wait, well, Social Network. So what am I kidding here? Great show. But passing it back to our guest here, my friend.
Yes.
What are your top 5 here? What are we talking?
Yeah, so for like I love comedy. So The Office obviously was up there. Sons of Anarchy was up there. Sopranos. I have
Nothing.
I'm not
Nothing
saying they're
beats
not
it
in there.
out.
They should have done more Met stuff. These guys were from Jersey. They should have been Mets fans.
That's a fair point.
I almost
Fair
went to my very first Mets game was a 1986 playoff game, and they started like Mookie Wilson was up, and so I thought they were booing Mookie Wilson, and I was like, "Don't you dare boo Mookie Wilson!" To like these very large Italian men, and these men just picked me up out of my seat and like started holding me, and my dad was like, "Oh, he's with the Mafia now." He's like, "I hope they give him back."
You were the original Burt Kreischer. You should have done this story. If you could turn this story right here. All you had to do is take your shirt off and tell the story about when I was 8 years old. I joined the New Jersey Mafia.
Yeah, I
take
know,
your shirt
right?
off and just fucking start with that. You'll be gold.
And they smelled like Old Spice and stale beer. And they're like, "We're not booing him, bud.
They're saying
We're saying
Mook or something."
Mook,
Yeah.
Mookie." And I was like, "Oh, okay." They're like, "We like kids. We like this kid.
Yeah,
we like
he's
kids all right. He's all right. You take care of him." You know? And my dad's like,
Next
"You
thing you
gotta
know,
go."
you're making drinks for him. You're at the clubhouse. You're running some favors. The next
Straight
thing you
out,
know,
straight out of a Bronx
Yep.
tale. Like,
You're driving them
"Don't go down to the
around.
bar."
Yeah, you're driving somebody now. And
Speaking of, dude, 86 Mets, we're talking like, is that prime Doc Gooden days?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Daryl Strawberry, the
Oh, yeah.
straw? Yeah, dude.
I don't know
Hernandez
shit
at
about
first.
it.
dude.
Wally Backman at
Keith
second.
Hernandez.
Yeah, dude.
Si-
Rafael Santana at shortstop.
You said you're not a
Gary Carter.
Seinfeld fan, but they got one of the greatest
Yeah,
episodes.
Keith
This whole thing about
Hernandez,
Keith
yeah.
Hernandez, the spit, and it's a whole take on the JFK assassination. Multiple. Oh my
Yeah.
god, damn! It's
all those guys
are
are The Simpsons too. One of the best episodes of The Simpsons ever. It was
The company softball team shit.
That was hilarious. That was a great episode.
It's got to be top 5 Simpsons episodes of all time.
Epic.
It's so fucking
Epic.
funny.
And since I wasn't allowed to watch The Simpsons, Family Guy jumped into the top 5 for me.
Yeah. Which
Family Guy, I think, pushed
Family Guy's funny, but like
super funny.
It's
super edgy.
It was. It's just I don't know. The Simpsons, man. He just kind of there's this era of The Simpsons that's just like it just can't be.
Yeah, but I missed it all. I missed it all.
Yeah.
It holds up though. Is the
does.
thing.
Yeah.
And if you're gonna do Simpsons, I would go like season 3 to 9 is really the sweet spot. And
To me, it goes up to about 12 or so.
There's-
some of the
there's
best
certainly
shit
good
that's-
So with The
stuff.
Simpsons, something really interesting here. You know the guy who self-immolated himself in front of the Trump trial today?
Yeah.
He wrote a manifesto. I read it.
Okay.
And in the manifesto, he talks about how cryptocurrency is a thing that is set to blow up the economy, and they're using it as a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
And I was like, interesting.
Yeah.
And then in the second half of his manifesto, he basically goes on this huge long rant about how The Simpsons is predictive programming and how they used all the writers worked at Harvard and it's this big conspiracy. I was like, I don't know, man. You're kind of losing me here a little bit.
That definitely seems like something you should light yourself on fire with. You know? I mean, if you're gonna fucking light yourself on fire.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a fair statement.
So I remember when I was a kid growing up, like TV shows were huge because you had to be home at a certain time to watch them. You couldn't.
Yeah.
So for me, when I was a kid growing up, the Wonder Years was like
Wonder Years is great.
unreal. Like
Yeah.
I was always like, man, life would have been so much easier in the '60s.
Yeah, which is crazy. You ever see that shit where even if you just think about it, the Wonder Years was in like the late 80s and early 90s, right?
Yeah.
And so like if you think about it now, that would be like us having a show about the 2000s called the Wonder Years.
You really could have stopped there.
Yeah, soak it in a little bit. Think about that. That's what I'm saying. Like time is so fucking weird. There's this whole thing like why is like, you know, those years, the 50s, 60s, 70s.
Little Joe Cocker in there.
Yeah.
Is that Joe Cocker or is that
I think so. Would you stand up and look around?
Obviously, it's a Beatles song.
Fred
but
Savage. Yeah.
I thought, is it Michael McDonald?
Sing a song.
Or is it Joe Cocker?
Should be. I think it's Joe Cocker.
Okay.
That's a cocker.
Try not to sing out of key. Won't be high.
That's such a good show.
Yeah, it was a bang.
You gotta show Winnie Cooper. Where's
Hey,
Winnie
dude,
Cooper?
Winnie Cooper, baby. Bud, or what was his name? Was it Bud? It wasn't Bud. What was the brother's name? Wayne.
Oh, there she is. I mean, she's really good looking when she gets older.
It's Marilyn Manson, by the way.
That's not Marilyn Manson.
Did you guys ever hear that rumor? I know I'm joking. I'm making a joke.
What was the rumor?
Cut that. No, kill that. I can't handle that much fucking
Too much cocker.
If it's not Ringo singing that song, I'm not interested. let's just start right there.
What's the Marilyn Manson?
Okay, so there was a thing for a long time when Marilyn Manson broke and was big that Marilyn Manson was that kid from the Wonder Years.
The nerdy friend.
Nerdy,
Oh, I
Yeah.
vaguely remember that. Yeah, Paul. Yeah, well played.
the nerdy fucking whatever the fuck. Yeah, it was like a thing for like a long. It was kind of like pre-internet, so like it was like rumors could still like be a thing. You know?
Yeah.
The good old days where
Yeah,
misinformation
it
reigns
was the Wonder
supreme.
Years. It was truly the Wonder Years.
That's when Fred Savage was young, impressionable, and not a rapist on Lifetime. Yeah. That dude plays every rapist on Lifetime
Is
now.
that what
I'm
he
like,
does?
oh yeah, that's his thing. Like the extra
He loves
jobs and just, oh, the car dealership is stressing me out.
Do you know what? Another cool show. They only did 2 seasons of it. The first season was really, really funny, and the second season, it got a little serious. But it was called Friends from College. It was a Hulu show, I believe, starring Fred Savage among another ensemble cast of glorious
Really?
people. But
Yeah.
Fred Savage ruled in that show. Good show. Honorable mention.
I'm more of a Ben Savage man myself. You know.
See, that's the difference between Gen X and millennials, man.
I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Oh, King and Peele were in it?
Just Peel.
Keegan-Michael Key.
/ Key. Whatever that
I
is.
like
Just
that.
that.
That's Key. Keegan-Michael Key.
That's Key.
Don't know
That's
the
Key.
difference.
Key and Michael Key.
Yes.
This guy's hilarious. Yeah, I love this.
In
guy.
fairness, Simon and Garfunkel, I have no fucking clue. Which is these tandem pairs, you know.
Yeah,
So
I've
the
never,
race
I've
thing
never
is
seen
who's
that.
Hall, who's Oates. I don't fucking know, man. Like,
Oh, dude, Fred Savage, man.
I only remember from Austin
That
Powers.
guy's hilarious. He bred.
Oh, the mole. Yeah,
With
he
the
did the
mole. He
mole.
played that cameo, the whole thing with the mole.
Gold member,
Morley.
Austin
that
Powers
guy.
1 and 2 still
The
hold
gay
up to this
dude
day.
there.
It's
They still
still
hold up? Still
fucking
good?
hilarious. I think they're great, man. I was a huge fan of those flicks. I love me some Mike Myers. It's tremendous.
Dude, the comedies in the late 90s, early 2000s for
Yeah.
movies.
90s
Untouchable.
was truly
So
a
good,
golden
dude.
era for movies.
Yeah.
The 90s for movies. Like, you ever see the shit where they're like, 1996, or like, they'll just like name a year and it'll be like, here's the list of movies that were all in the theater at the same time. And you're like,
Yep.
every one of these is like a classic movie, like a
Yep.
great movie.
It was so great. So I was in high school dating then. I would take girls
That's all you
to the
had to
movies
do.
all the time.
Yeah, dude.
You're like, yeah,
Getting that back row handy if you played your cards right. You know, that's where it's at, man. Slipping
I
up
was
through
a
the
late
Titanic.
bloomer. I was a late bloomer, unfortunately.
90s movies in general, and this is not a nostalgia.
That's what I'm
Like,
saying.
we always
Yeah,
have these
no, it's
conversations
a-
about
yeah.
music, right? Like, you kind of get locked into the era
Like
of
your
music
era
that was
and stuff.
popular in your
Yeah.
formative years. But 90s movies,
Yeah.
like, you
Like
look up like 96,
94,
97. I think
yeah.
you said 96 specifically, which I
It's-
think was the year.
I think it might be 94.
Was that
too.
Pulp Fiction?
I think
and
it's
Forrest
94.
Gump?
I think it's 94. I think it's like
That
Pulp
could be
Fiction,
right,
Forrest
but-
Gump, Titanic.
Forrest Gump was
like
unreal.
it's like all these fucking. You're just like, holy shit! Like every one of these is like.
You throwing Titanic into the mix with Pulp Fiction and others.
It is.
that's
Titanic was one of the biggest movies ever made, dude. Like, I mean, like, you love it or hate it. I think it's a good movie, but it's a huge movie.
It gave you enough. It was two DVD or
Yeah, you had to have the double
VHS
discer,
tapes.
baby.
That gave you
Yeah.
extra time to try to talk them into having sex.
You know, I gotta switch the tape. You know, like
4 hours of Leo. Right.
Oh man, the second one seems to be active up
Goodfellas.
here. I'm doing my best.
you get the fucking, you get that interlude when you gotta switch the tape. She's like, finally, you
What
know.
what year are we looking at
Oh,
here?
Silence
Brandon?
of
Oh
the
shit,
Lambs.
baby! I gotta switch the tape over.
So Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
1990.
Hoop
Dream. It's a
good
documentary. It's
movie,
fucking
but yeah.
fantastic. Dude. Who Dreams?
What?
is
What
great.
is this list you pulled up?
Rolling Stone.
Safe.
Fuck a Rolling Stone, dude. Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
Come on.
Pulp
I
Fiction.
always forget about
You're right,
Silence of the Lambs.
1994.
I'm like,
So, 94 in particular.
Slacker 91.
List is super pretentious.
This list is kind of
Yeah,
weak.
yeah.
Yeah.
Malcolm X was incredible.
Yeah. Look
Because there
up.
wasn't a lot of stuff on Malcolm X when we were kids.
Yeah, it's true.
So that
It's
movie
true.
was huge.
Denzel kills it, dude. Denzel at the same time like
Groundhog
is
Day.
under and over, like not appropriately rated. He gets mad props, but like not enough props. He's really good.
Did you
Training
see that
Day.
school?
Did you
This-
see
This list sucks. It doesn't have Jurassic Park in the top
That's what
10.
I'm saying. That was another thing. In 94, it was like Jurassic Park was in there too, like, or whatever. It was like there's
Yeah.
fucking 2-3 years. It's just like this unbelievable time for fucking movies.
Yeah. Denzel's a
Don't do
pretty
it.
goat.
Yeah.
He is the man.
So good.
He's the man for sure. Did you say, is it Man on Fire or whatever? Is that the name of that?
Fire.
That is
That
one of the many
movie's just
Denzel
fucking-
movies. Yeah.
Bad fucking ass movie. Yeah.
New Denzel movie from a few years back called The Little Things, with the Rami Malek or whatever that dude's name
yeah.
is from
the guy
who was
from
Queen.
Yeah.
Bohemian
Yeah.
Rhapsody, and
Yeah.
also Jared Leto, who I'm a huge fan of. I fucking love me some Jared Leto. I think
30
that dude's
Seconds to Mars,
chose.
man.
Yeah.
I love this band, yeah.
Yeah, 30 Seconds to Mars is good.
That,
Jared Leto's kind of a fucking pretentious prick, being honest, but I do like 30 Seconds to Mars.
I do, yeah.
That big song they put out, like the 130, they had a couple of hits, but like the one main hit, dude, that song fucking rules,
It
man.
does.
It's
It
great.
does.
Dude.
They
Shit's
got a
awesome.
record with has a tiger on the cover. I was really into that record. Something about war. This is war. Maybe it was called or something like that.
Ah, it was so long
Yeah.
ago, I couldn't tell
Okay,
you. But
favorite live band.
Tool.
yeah.
Wow, you guys had no.
Right,
I
that's
got
it.
love there.
My whole Tool collection.
Various other Maynard
Yeah.
side
They're
projects.
actually hanging out in the sex dungeon downstairs. You're gonna hang out with them later.
From
Yeah,
right
MJK is
here,
the gimp. He's
from right
he's our
here in
gimp,
Grand
too.
Rapids, baby.
Yeah. So what? Who?
Maynard.
Well, technically Scottville, correct?
But he lived in Grand Rapids for like 3 years.
Oh,
Just trying out
nice.
Smuggy right there.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How about you, man? What's the choice live show you've ever seen?
It's gonna date me, but I was at Woodstock '99.
Oh shit, that's a
All
Yeah.
You started that fucking fire, didn't you? It was you, wasn't it?
And so they
You
don't talk
son of
about
a
it.
bitch. Limp
They don't-
Bizkit was on stage and you fucking lit some shit on fire, didn't
Dude,
you?
it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
They played
yeah,
Light My Fire.
that's me.
Yeah.
No.
That's you on the surfboard, the plywood.
No, dude, I was crowd surfing back then. So, like,
Yeah.
I'll never forget, during The Offspring, I used to love The Offspring.
Yeah.
And so,
Yes.
during The Offspring, I was up there, right? And the lead singer of The Offspring gets on there, and he's like, hey,
Yeah.
stop grabbing women's titties and asses and pussies. And I was like, yeah, I agree with that. And he's like, ladies, if you got a guy who's crowd surfing, grab his dick. And I was like, what? No. Please don't. We haven't showered in 2
Yeah,
days.
right.
Please no.
I'd been like, throw me up!
I actually made it on one of the stages. It was about 2 mile walk between the stage over here. So this is Griffiths Air Force Base.
Yeah.
So it's just all concrete cement.
Yeah.
And so I got to go. I took 3 days off from work, and me and my best friend, we went out there. We camped. But we were like, you were up to like 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, and then you're waking up in your tent drenched in sweat. And then, of course, you weren't allowed to bring in like a lot of stuff. There's no water.
Yeah.
So like we were dehydrated. So what they don't tell you in the documentary, I was kind of surprised about it. They gave out these unity candles, these anti-violence unity candles. And I was like, huh.
Yeah, they just gave everybody open flames. Yeah.
And then they just started pushing all the trash together. What do you do when you have fire? They're like, it was truly caveman stuff. They're like, "Rrr!" They start dancing around the fire, and I'm like, it's not good.
Oh, yeah.
This is not going to be good. So my Aunt Judy actually lived pretty close to Rome, New York. She lived in just town over. And so we actually got to park at her house. She drove us to Mohawk Valley Community College, and we got bussed in from there. So we didn't have to deal with any of the traffic or parking.
Right.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. But my dad was at Woodstock 69.
Nice.
Coming full circle.
Yeah.
How was it being there? Like, was it scary when the shit started to go down? It's like, this is getting real. Like, what was it like being there?
So there wasn't much the next day to load out. So as soon as the fire started happening, they started tipping over ATMs and ripping money out of the ATMs. And so my best friend and I were like, we got to go.
Yeah.
Like my best friend Jeff, coolest dude in the world, and we both said it. We're like, we were so dehydrated. We were so tired.
Yeah.
We saw all the bands that we wanted to see,
Right.
which was tough because we were bouncing.
It's like we caught DMX, it's all downhill from here. We're all set.
I was a huge DMX fan.
Oh, yeah, everybody was.
Oh, my gosh.
X rules. X gonna give it to you. Come on.
I was going to say, I totally hung out with Wes Borland one time from fucking Limp Bizkit.
No way.
You played a show in West Borland.
Did you really?
We opened for his other band. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I got to see.
He's just in the monkey suit up there.
That's crazy. But I was a huge Dave Matthews Band fan. He was there.
Yeah.
Dave Rules.
Fatboy Slim.
Yeah.
So he was supposed to play in it. So we were into it because we were in college, right?
Yeah.
And so we were into the rave stuff. And so he was supposed to be at this one hangar. And my buddy and I, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. He was supposed to play at midnight. And I'm like, dude, he didn't show up. There's no way he came all the way out here to Woodstock. He didn't show up. So we start walking back.
Yeah, he played the rave tent or whatever, right?
Yes.
Or whatever. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we start walking away, and then we hear Fatboy Slim is fucking in heaven. Fatboy Slim. And I was like, we both looked at each other. We're like, we went back. We were like, we're not missing this.
Yeah.
Like,
that was where a big part of the fucking rapey shit happened, was in that rave tent thing there at
yeah, we didn't do
99.
that. Yeah, we didn't do that.
We had an
I'm not saying you did.
Just want to make the record.
Was ICP? Is this at Woodstock?
No, they
Where's
weren't
this
there.
from?
Were they really?
Yeah.
I don't remember seeing that goofy bastard.
Willie Nelson. It's 420 tomorrow. So the memes are going around and say it says it's 419, tomorrow's 420, so make sure you leave out milk and cookies for Willie Nelson. I was like, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Look at this though, man.
Yeah,
it was
documentary
crazy.
is fucking crazy.
Look at all that trash.
I was like watching it on MTV, basically, when everything was happening in real time. Everybody, the whole country was just glued to it, just going, "Oh my god, this is crazy."
Yeah.
The chasm between what original Woodstock was and what this one became is vast, to be sure.
Yeah, they really fucked it up.
Yeah, my dad lost one of his buddies at Woodstock 69. Like
forever?
disappeared. Yeah, he had to go. They didn't have cell phones. They looked for him. He got really caught up into the music, is what my dad said.
Didn't have anything to do with the brown acid circulating.
He got really in the music. I was such a sheltered child. I was like, oh yeah, that sounds right.
Don't taste the red rope.
To be honest with you, I probably would have been burning some shit. I probably would have been throwing some shit in the fire. I would have been on the verge of things, going, "Holy shit, this is crazy," but not getting too close.
That's exactly where we
Yeah.
didn't get too close to that. I did get freaking cross-checked by a New York State trooper.
Yeah.
So because we were like, we gotta get out of here. So we start to jog and run.
That's when you decided you wanted to become one.
So you want to treat people. But no, what's crazy is that so we started to jog and run away. But if you're running away, they automatically thought you stole something.
Yeah.
So I get cross-checked and
Damn.
just feet over. brutally with a what is it, a billy club? Billy club.
The Chili Peppers playing in the background too.
Fleeing the animal pants over his doing where he got
I got friggin' upended by a state trooper, and then he starts like checking. I'm like, I don't have anything, sir. I don't have anything. And he's like, you boys might want to get out of here.
Hey, we're trying to, sir. You just sprained my ankle.
I just want to go. Aunt Judy's picking us up in 2 minutes.
I was just trying to see Fat Boy Slim. I was just trying to see Sheryl Crow, sir.
It's a tale as old as like to your point. I know you're kidding around about it, but like you get this mob mentality going, and just you get a fucking sea of humanity doing one thing, and then everybody buys
hungover,
people
dehydrated, tired, pissed off. You couldn't get food, you couldn't get water. It was 1,000,000 degrees. It's just so. It was like a perfect storm.
It was awful.
Having to tolerate both Limp Bizkit and Korn.
Yeah, dude.
I was big fans of both of them back then.
I was too.
But honestly, Godsmack. They played that song, whatever. They played the crescendo like 9 times.
Yeah.
And I was in the mosh pit. I looked around like I was in pretty good shape back then, right? I was in my 20s. I went to a military college. I felt pretty comfortable.
Yeah.
I looked around. Everybody was bald, had tattoos, piercings, soccer cleats on. I'm like, and I was like, I think I'm in the wrong part of the pit. I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be here. And then all of a sudden it just went out. And of course, I didn't know there's mosh pit etiquette. And so all these dudes were like from Boston for sure. And they're like, go Sox! And I was like, all right. And so we're in the mosh pit, and there's this one dude who keeps running from the side, doing sucker punches and then running. And then, so when they played the crescendo a couple of times, we're all into like this mob together. And there's one dude from Boston who's like in the middle of it. He's just yanked the dude. He's like, what I say, go! We're gonna part like the Red Sea. I'm gonna knock this kid out. And I was like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Sure as shit, the crescendo hits. This kid comes running from the side. The pit opens.
Nice.
This dude just lays him out, and then the pit closes. I'm like, I think he's dead.
Wow.
Like, God.
Yeah, sucker punching people is not mosh pit etiquette. That is not cool.
This guy, he got hit as hard as I got cross-checked.
Good, yeah.
I just saw the fist hit his face at full throttle, and then his feet went up in the air, and then the pit closed. Before his feet went to the ground, I was like, I think
justice was served. Honestly, like, come the fuck on.
Hardest punch I've
That
ever
man
seen.
was Fred Durst.
With a Boston accent.
No, this fucking guy that got laid out, he's currently on a podcast right now going, listen, I was fucking Limp Bizkit was on, I got fucking punched in the face, it's the greatest night of my life.
It was wild, dude. It was a good time though. It was wild. Like I was so glad I had the opportunity.
It's one of those
living
stories.
in upstate New York, right?
You'll remember that shit for the rest
Story
of your
to
life.
tell for the rest of your life.
Yeah, man. It was fantastic. It was beautiful.
But part of the culmination of it too was that they explained in that documentary was that they kept having this thing where there was this rumor there was supposed to be this like epic ending band that like nobody knew who it was, and there was all this speculation. It was supposed to be whoever, some fucking like reunion of some old band. I can't remember. There was lots of rumors and shit.
There was everything.
Yeah, but then what it ended up being was like that candle handout, and then it was like, I don't know who played last. Was it the Chili Peppers or something? And then they were just like, all right, good night. And everybody was like, what? We were all promised that there was some huge like thing that we, nobody expect, blah blah blah, whatever. And they was just like,
we gave you candles.
Yeah, they were like, okay, everybody, get the fuck out. And they were just like, no, just burn the fucking place to the ground.
Well, there was some stuff on the third day. There was supposed to be something from like 8 o'clock in the morning to like noon, and then they were kicking everybody out. So there was nothing good on day 3. So we were just like, we had enough, and we took off.
But there was like, they had like promised, or there was at least there was some big rumor.
It was such a mob mentality.
Yeah.
Some dude was like, wouldn't it be cool?
Yeah.
If like the Beatles came out, man, and then like everyone's like, aren't they dead? Like some of them are dead.
John
like,
Lennon's
no, dude, he's
dead.
coming back from the grave, man.
No.
This is it's in the Bible. I'm like, what?
Bring back the holograms.
That stuff's so wild though, because you get when you get like that kind of energy and that mass of people, you're gonna get like an unbelievable amount of momentum going in one direction or another, right? Like it's either gonna be real good and real good and everybody's got great vibes, or it's going fucking to hell in a handbasket.
What's
You know, it's just
crazy
like
is that we
90s
were
were
able
wild.
we were able to link up with people who we didn't go there with. We linked up with friends without cell phones.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah.
And a mob of like hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah.
that's unreal.
That's crazy. I was like, we should have never been able to find
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
And there's times where like my best friend and I did not have tabs on each other. We were just
No
wandering,
idea.
dude.
For sure.
We just wandered, made friends. Like,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a little less tense than what my dad went through. But it rained at Woodstock 69
Yeah.
and 94.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to do that again. That
was the
ship
end of-
sailed.
That's the end of Woodstock. But the things are still big. Bonnaroo is fucking huge, or
Yeah.
Coachella is still. I mean, Coachella just happened like last weekend or whatever. Fucking Burning Man and everything. I mean, these are huge festivals still. So I
Bro,
mean,
we
it's
gotta
still a
make
thing.
a Burning Man around here. I know
We
it's
should
like
go
the
to
ultimate
Burning Man,
douchey
dude.
hippie
Yeah,
thing, but
yeah.
I've heard so
Let's
many
get
good things
some
about
fucking
Burning Man.
Mad Max shit, dude.
Let's
And
get
fucking
after
go
it,
out
son.
there,
Let's
dude.
do it.
Dude, if they have a musical act at 10 o'clock, I'm like, I'm going to bed. I can't party like, oh, what is that? Oh.
I don't know. It's
What are we kicking up?
B-Dubs on
Got a
some
B-Dub
shit right now.
special.
Yes. B-Dubs is on it.
Best in the business, baby.
Yeah, there's B-Dub and then there's Jamie Vernon. Those are the only two out there. Was this the documentary?
Yeah, it's the
Or is
Burning
it
Man
all
documentary.
Burning
Okay.
Man, yeah.
So where's Burning Man?
It's in the middle of the fucking Nevada desert or Arizona
Somewhere out in
desert?
one of those desert type
Yeah.
That would have
areas.
been way cooler than Iraq.
Damn, that shit looks.
Still better weed in Afghanistan.
That might be questionable at this point. I don't know.
I guess now it's like real pretentious and shit. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it's
like
all
10 years
rich
ago. It was
people and
like
shit,
really
yeah.
fucking crazy. Like I was super fringe, crazy shit. But
It's almost impossible to get into
yeah,
now.
it's like
Yeah,
impossible to
Really?
get.
You have to get a recommendation from someone who's already went.
Yeah, there's only so many tickets and shit, and you have to. It's like you're like grandfathered in or whatever and shit. And it's
They're like, no, David's a good time. For real, he was at Woodstock 99. This dude needs to be here.
He's okay, man.
He witnessed a murder in a mosh pit.
Yo, he lit the fire at Woodstock 99. He should be lighting the Burning Man, dude. You know, like come on.
Like an Olympic torch.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's been running with the torch.
Like Forrest Gump. Like, I'm here to light your party on fire.
That is seriously fucking funny, man. The guy running with the torch from Woodstock 99 to light the Burning Man. Fucking Burning Man.
Hey, dodgeball?
That's gold.
What the hell is going on?
Yeah, from everything you hear, like it went from like kind of an organic thing to like now I
Yeah.
think it's super affluent people
Just
and it's
like
like
everything.
punishingly
Yeah,
expensive to get
exactly.
into.
Those
And,
Logan
yeah.
Paul dickheads.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
exactly.
I can't stand
Yeah.
those fucking guys. I know very little about them other than they're the biggest
Jameson.
douches in the heap.
They're
But
super rich. That's all.
I really hope Tyson just fucking lays Jake
Yeah,
Paul out.
yeah.
Yeah, I
So
hope he
Tyson's-
earns one back
okay.
for legitimate
Oh, that's
boxers.
good.
So
and
we're gonna
just
have to do. We're gonna have to
jacks
do.
him up.
Let's do predictions, because everybody who has Netflix is gonna be able to see that.
Everybody's gonna watch it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. We're doing a podcast.
I want to watch it.
are
for
you
sure.
really?
We'll probably have. I'm probably gonna get like I don't.
We should get.
We
a
only got
group of
so many,
guys.
but we'll probably have like
Dude.
eight people or so to watch it. So
That's cool.
I
You're
fucking-
invited.
Oh, dude, I don't need a recommendation or anything. Like,
No, you need to
We're like
Burning Man.
We're like Burning Man here at the podcast. Like you have to like know somebody to get
Oh,
into
man.
our Jake Paul.
Bribery will get you
party.
everywhere. To be
Yeah.
clear, we'll throw that out there for the masses.
I really hope Tyson knocks him out. Like, I just want. He's like the preppy kid at school that nobody liked, but we
Yeah,
tolerated
dude.
because he like brought beer to parties and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's what he is.
That is
Right.
so spot on.
That's
That is
so
spot
spot
on, dude.
on.
He's
We're
the
like,
consummate D.
He really
we're like,
is.
God, we hate this guy, but he's the only one that has a fake ID.
Right.
You know,
He was good for getting the party going or whatever. Like
But we always had that
but,
one friend from another school who was like, I don't like this kid. I'm going to knock him out.
Yeah.
That's what Tyson is. Tyson is that guy from that school.
Indeed, dude.
I love Tyson's quote. He's like, I'm not playing around. I'm gonna fuck him up. He's like, he's gonna join his brother in the WWE. he goes, if you think I'm doing this for the money, you're crazy. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm gonna retire him early. I like the kid. He's a good kid, but I'm gonna send him to his brother in WWE.
Spot on. That's
pretty
good.
solid,
Yeah,
Tyson,
that's
bro.
a- Yeah, that's
I'm not gonna lie, you get a pretty solid impression game. It's on my dog, dude.
Sometimes, and it's weird, is you know this. I can only do it like on the spot. Now, if you ask me to do it again right now, it'll be all over the fucking mat. Dude. It's a weird thing, dude.
The heat of the moment, the pressure makes diamonds.
I don't want him to knock him out early. I want him to eat so many punches.
Yeah,
he might get fucked up. I hate to say, we've talked about this already, but like the truth is he's way fucking younger. Which is
he's diesel,
and he's in shape. I've been saying this guy's been training. He's been doing all these fights for the last 3-4 years, right?
Yeah.
And so with that regard, he's been training steady for all this stuff. Mike Tyson has not been. No fault to him. He's literally almost 60 years old.
57.
Roy Jones Jr.
Yeah, but again, that was one thing, and it was somebody his own age. It's all exhibition. I mean, this is technically an exhibition, right? But it's like. But, I mean, Tyson is saying that he is going to just fucking fuck him up. So, don't play too much of this. We'll get fucking pulled on.
But the thing,
YouTube.
all right. And
that's a great shot.
I'm going to watch a bunch of, like, current Tyson and Jake Paul. I've never seen Jake Paul fight. I'm actually a big fucking boxing fan. I watch a lot of boxing, but I don't fuck around with this celebrity bullshit and whatnot. So, I don't know a thing about him. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to do a deep dive. I'm going to give a big prediction. But, like, the thing is, it's... Like, does he have technique? I don't know, man. And, like, it sounds impressive that he's beating Woodley and he's beating Anderson Silva and all these guys. But MMA is not boxing. It's a different fucking sport, man. And what I'm seeing right now is a bunch of big, sloppy, looping punches.
Yeah, that can't kick, and can't
Tyson,
wrestle, the shit they normally do.
And, like... He's not going to get away with it. Tyson's going to give him a straight right in the fucking jaw when he comes out with this big looping shit from out of nowhere, bro.
Tyson will have the major advantage just in his mind of having been one of the greatest fucking boxers of all time.
He's a killer. He's a terrifying human being.
The thing I worry about, so I always look at this in boxing, and you probably know this more than I do. Reach is a real thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson is very...
He's a stocky guy.
I'm gonna sound like
he's a tank,
like it's such a dickhead.
Yeah.
I would lose to both of these dudes. Hands down.
I'd probably fuck them both.
That seems like a fair assumption.
If I'm being honest, I'd probably fuck them both up pretty easy.
I would have to bring my...
It's not a problem,
No, I mean, these guys are... I mean, yeah. So, but, like, honestly, like, that reach is a... Tyson's going to have to eat 3 to 4 punches every time he goes inside.
But also, his entire career was fought in like he knows how to get inside against guys, right? Like he's always been the little dude. He's fighting, he's 5'9".
Yeah,
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a little motherfucker. So that's his deal. Is get
I
on
love
the inside.
5'9" is a little guy.
Well, for heavyweight division.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking dudes that are 6'4" with
for sure,
82-inch reaches and shit coming in.
It's
gonna be fun. We gotta do.
Oh yeah, it's a done deal. It's happening.
It's gonna be huge.
It's in like 3 months still. It's like so far away.
July,
it's like almost like, and it's the end of July, and it's like by the time fucking it's there, I'm kind of like, nobody cares anymore. Like they need to announce this shit like. They should have them like sign the contracts and everything so you can get training and everything, but then fucking like announce it like the month before so people are hyped.
Do you know why they announced it when they did?
Why?
Netflix sales are down.
It's good. It's a fair point.
Yeah. People be unsubscribing.
They're like, hey, why don't you? So people were thinking about. I honestly was thinking about unsubscribing to Netflix, and I was like, I'll keep it for a couple more months.
Indeed.
Yeah, I won't just quit and then jump back on.
I can watch somebody put Jake Paul into a coma. I'll pay the $22.19 for the next couple of months.
Mine's only $11.99. Maybe I got the good customer discount.
What the fuck, dude?
Man,
they keep jacking my shit. I'm up over $20 with Netflix.
For Netflix?
Yeah,
dude, it's
how many TVs
I'm
are
getting
streaming
punked here. Just one. Well, 2.
I only have 1.
I don't know. I thought it was all based on a subscription. Maybe
I dropped my HBO not that long ago, and then fucking went back to it like a bitch like 3 months later, and it's like, and because I dropped it, now they're like, oh, now you're paying today's rate, son. What you gonna do about it? I'm like,
you're like, not a damn thing.
You gotta catch that sweet kid. We're gonna eat
so
shit
I was
like everybody
at like
else.
$12 a month. Now it's like 20 or whatever.
You're watching Daenerys and Jon Snow doing cousin sex. Yeah.
And I fucking got it back literally for Curb Your Enthusiasm was fucking why.
Dude, this slap fighting shit is fucking out of control.
I think it's... See, I'm going to disagree. This is my favorite thing in the world.
Look how swollen his face is.
Dude, do you watch the fucking things of the knockouts, dude?
Oh my god, look at he's deformed.
No, I can't stand
dude,
it.
oh my god. Watch watch these guys getting,
look at this.
getting
Come
knocked
on.
out, dude. When they get knocked out, it's so funny. Dude, I love this.
Look at
I
that,
love this.
dude.
He's like, Rocky Road. He looks like the guy from the Goonies.
You guys.
That dude hit him so hard, he became the guy from the
Look at
Goonies.
the sheer
I
look
love
of
it.
terror
I
and
love it.
panic on
And
these
you
guys'
can't
face.
flinch.
Look at this. Look
You
at him
can't
preparing
flinch.
for it. Just going, God damn it. It's going to suck.
Dude,
The last time I looked like that was when my dad hit me. You can't flinch like shit. Oh my gosh.
Dude, I end up watching these videos like every day. Like the knockouts, they're so funny to me. Ooh, he hit. All right,
In
where's your
fairness,
boys to catch you?
if you're
dude?
fucking stupid enough to sign up for this, you deserve every bit. Oh, look at that guy.
They gotta have weight to. Oh,
Yeah.
Machine Gun Kelly just got.
Oh, jeez, oh, Pete. Oh, yeah. He let you slap him, dog.
They go
He's
back
like
and
walking
forth,
around like,
man.
yeah, I did that.
They have
Like,
this official table with a talcum powder.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
dude. Oh, yeah.
It's so stupid.
They like hold things to hold on to and shit. There's like,
This is too much. This
I love it.
my
I love it. I love
is
everything about
this is the height of idiocy.
I'm
right
way
here.
more into this than the actual UFC. So good
you know what?
to me, dude.
Honestly, Jake Paul and Tyson should do this.
Yeah.
Forget boxing.
Yeah.
Put him.
What?
Oh my gosh.
That's
They
so
need a
good.
separate bitch slap league for this.
Slap
Though.
league,
Like an
yeah.
entire
Yeah.
fucking backhand zone.
Yeah, they need a pimp league.
Yeah, dude.
The pimp league.
They gotta come out with like the feather
Yeah,
jacket.
yeah,
and
they'll
shit,
walk
dude.
up.
They got
Every time
front cover lapel. You're just,
Every time they do it,
Yeah.
they're like, "Where's my money?"
And what they do is they actually smack the other pimp's hoe. The pimps don't actually smack each other.
Wow. That
Dangerville
went off the rails.
podcast does not condone violence against women. Let me say that
Come on,
categorically
it's a
for the
joke.
record. No.
It's the pimp.
hell was that?
It's a family. These two guys slapped
I'm
like Civil
sorry.
War generals. Jeez, look at the beards on that guy. Wow. Oh gosh.
That is huge. And, they should also, you should not be able to have a beard. Don't you think a beard is like you got a cushion?
buffer?
Okay.
You got a buffer.
So this is a real thing. There was a fight like a month or two back.
Look
It
at
was
this
dude named Noah.
He was looking at a past relative. That's he was like, Grandma.
His ancestors in the old country felt that shit.
Can you imagine going to the gym?
What the fuck?
Look at this guy, dude.
Yeah, that guy doesn't like
Oh.
himself.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I tattooed my face.
One would hope that guy could take a slap like a man with a face tattoo
Dude,
like
can you
that.
imagine being in the gym being like, what are you lifting all these weights for? For the slap competition.
Slap champ.
Oh my gosh.
This looks inherently dangerous in a way that is tough to describe. Dude, that can't be good for
It's
anybody
funny how many
right there.
leagues of this shit there are too. Like all these different leagues and shit. Because Dana White runs one of these leagues.
I
It's like
can't
his-
believe this is a thing. This is where
Slap
we're at.
fight championship.
This is why other countries bomb America. It's because of this shit right here. Like, we kind of got it coming to us at the end of the day. This is
The
fucking
terrorists
absurd.
are like, they finally got universal health care, but this slap fight stuff's getting out of hand. We're gonna
That's
go
why we
some
need
sleeper
universal
cells.
health care.
Oh my gosh. Oh, look at this. He's gonna eat it.
Oh,
He's
man.
gonna eat it.
Oh,
I'm
down for
so
the count.
hopeful.
oh,
That's a bad man right there. So
Oh.
that guy.
Oh my
Jesus
gosh.
Christ.
Dude, yeah, I don't know how this became a thing. Like,
Oh.
I got into bare knuckle boxing for a couple. Like my buddy John loves bare knuckle boxing.
yeah.
That's even more
That
brutal.
stuff,
Yeah.
those videos are brutal.
yeah.
Shout
Oh,
out
this
Kimbo
is just
Slice.
slap for slap though, dude. They just go.
Dude.
Stay
That
there.
one guy at the beginning with his face is
Yeah, that
enormous.
I've never seen a
You can see
swelling
his
like that. dude.
jaw. It was
Yeah.
off kilter.
Yeah.
That was
dude.
broke
Like,
for
yeah.
sure.
yeah, that
Yeah.
ain't good.
Dude.
And
Ugh.
props to that guy for hanging in there. That's a tough man. A
What an
very
idiot.
stupid man.
What an
but a tough
idiot.
one nonetheless, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when you connect.
Oh,
Is this bare
Jesus
knuckle?
Christ.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's a grown ass man sport right there, dude. Fucking Christ, that's over.
BKF.
I mean, they're taped up, but still.
Yeah, that
is-
tape ain't doing shit, bro.
No. That tape protects the hands.
Doing nothing but
You
protecting
figure
the
they
hand.
keep
Yeah.
their hands up. Like, it's like football players use a helmet and they always get concussions, but rugby players don't
Yep.
Yeah.
as much,
Yeah,
I would
right,
say.
right.
And I heard somebody, I can't take credit for this, I don't know who said it, but they said, the reason why rugby players don't get hurt as often or as badly as football players is because you don't attach a weapon to their head.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You
Exactly.
essentially gave football players a weapon
Yeah.
to use
Yeah.
in a very brutal, fast-paced
Right.
sport.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
But this part of this though is that these guys like obviously aren't top tier. If they were top tier, they would be in boxing doing that. So they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So they're dropping their hands and just getting the shit kicked out. These are just bar brawlers.
Right.
man.
yeah.
Right.
Do you remember when they used to have, it was Tough Enough? They were just like random dudes coming out of...
I
like-
remember Tough Man competition.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was, Tough Man.
Yep.
These dudes were like just coming out of nowhere and just
Yep.
like boxing each other.
Yeah.
Breathing heavy after 30 seconds.
Oh yeah,
It
they
was
were just
like-
the
That's
toughest
what
guy
the
at the
original
local
UFC
bar.
was.
Yeah.
Even though,
It was like, dude, you had sex with my sister. Where's the fuck? And I was like, what?
Original
Like, that was
UFC.
one of the promos. I was like,
Original UFC was untimed. It was
Yeah.
you go until one man
Yeah.
dies.
Yeah.
Basically,
There was no weight
there
classes.
were no weight classes. There
That
were
was wild.
borderline
Yeah.
no rules. I mean, there
Yeah.
were some things you couldn't do, but I'm
That's
pretty
what I
sure
I feel
you
like
could
that's
cross
better.
shot and
I think
That's
that's
what the
way
Gracies made
fucking
their
better.
name.
Yep.
Honestly.
I
What's
remember.
that?
I think that's way better. It should
Yeah.
be that, dude. It should just be two idiots in a fucking cage.
If
dude.
you're
That's what
talking
I wanna
about
see.
it, and a lot of that stuff still exists, it's hugely popular. But I remember, dude, I watched that first one. We rented it on VHS because
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
like, "What the fuck is this?" And oh, the other thing, there wasn't one fight a night. It was a tournament that was held in the same, and it was a
Yeah.
war of attrition, man.
it was like 16 people, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we watched Hoist
Soak it
Gracie,
in. Look at
the
the
original one,
graphics.
dude.
Yeah.
And Hoist Gracie was like $175, and I remember him fighting
Yeah.
Dan the Beast Severns
Yeah.
among other guys.
Dude.
And he was like, "This little motherfucker's got no
Yeah.
chance." And this
Fucked
guy
up
goes to
everybody.
his back. He's
Yeah.
doing fucking shit that nobody's ever
That's
seen before.
why
It's
where it just
out of
became
control,
that
bro.
jiu-jitsu is
Yeah,
the thing
yeah,
that beats everything.
100%.
These promos were the
Yeah.
best.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
These guys were not media trained yet. And they're like, I fight! and I win!
Yeah.
It's like, that guy has already taken too many punches. Like,
It's
and
real
you can just
life
wear whatever
karate.
you
It's
wanted.
blood
Yeah,
sport,
it's
bro.
blood sport.
oh,
Van
dude.
Damme would have cleaned up at this shit. So
Who is these guys?
nobody knows.
Oh, okay.
Don't have any consequence whatsoever. Oh, this is gonna go
Dude, look
south
at that
for one of these
striking
guys
for
in a
the
hurry.
distance.
Oh, yeah.
Oh! You can't do that anymore. That's
That
prime
was
reason
it.
why.
It's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh,
Time
getting
out.
kicked in the
Dude,
face.
he gets a timeout.
Time out. Oh, fuck.
The
dude.
original UFC, man. It's like, oh, you want to keep going?
Far superior to today's youth. This
Yeah.
is rules.
Advantage
dude. Come on.
original UFC, to be sure.
Fuck all these rules, dude. I want to see two completely mismatched people that have no idea what they're doing, no rules, going in there fucking swinging at each other.
Dude, I thought Ken Shamrock was going to be like the greatest WWE wrestler because he was like in this early stuff, and I was like, dude, that dude's a unit, man.
He's a legitimate fighter. Like,
Yeah.
Ken Shamrock knows his shit, you know? Oh,
Slow-mo.
dude.
He just ate that size 12.
Oh, that's bad news right there.
Oh, that's so good. He's like, yeah, I don't know, that was a bad idea. I regret it.
Oh my
Early
God.
Joe Rogan was still there.
Oh, yeah.
Still a hair.
I want to see Joe Rogan fight. I really do. I would love to see him like.
There's
he's very accomplished.
there's clips of him
Yeah.
out there back in the day when he was 20 and whatever, winning
Really?
his. Yeah, I think you can find that shit. He's shown them on the podcast. Like
He's
fucking-
won many tournaments. He's like
It wasn't
legitimate
many.
Was this
guy.
him?
It was so.
He's won
back
like
then.
national tournaments and shit.
Is that him
Yeah.
giving the back kick?
Could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
He fucking
Wow.
his kicking was like the thing. That's what, and he still does all that. He still does all those leg kicks and
So
shit.
my next door
It's like his
neighbor
thing.
fights MMA,
Whoa.
which is like really daunting as a dad because my kids are like, you could beat him up, right? No. Mr. Tanner's a friend.
That's where you get up there, you're talking shit. He's like, listen, motherfucker, please, God, this might look badass in front of the kids.
Dude, this
Let's
guy,
go with it.
his walking around weight is probably 160, and he wrestles or he fights at like 155, and he is just. I would hold pads for him sometimes, and like he hit the pads so hard, like it sent. I can't even say the word. That's how bad it was. Like shockwave.
You got concussive syndromes.
Like my arm hasn't been able to beat my beat since. Like I just switched to left-handed. Like it just ruined it. I was like, I got no feeling. But when he hits, and he's a big time kicker too. Like he did a lot of kickboxing. He actually went to Thailand for like 2 weeks and trained.
That's
camp
legit
out there.
over there.
And he was like, all you did was eat, train,
kick
fight.
bamboo trees,
And
bro.
he's like, and then at night, because they have like, they do kickboxing every night. And so they would go watch these professional kickboxers like every night. And he was like, it was such a legit experience. And I was like, I don't know, man. We're getting old. He's walking around all ripped. I'm like,
Dude. Some fucking people.
You have to be an unwise man to pick a fight these days because you never know who's a
Everyone's
killer, bro.
trained, dude.
The
Yeah.
130-pound
Jiu-jitsu's
bean pole
so popular.
might light
Yeah.
you the fuck up. And not
Yeah.
even jiu-jitsu, dude. Like some of the best boxers, dude. You know, these 130-pound guys
Yeah.
will fucking
just
light your world up,
just
bro.
everything,
You
just training and
if you
Rogan
don't
and
know how to
jiu-jitsu
fight and you pick a fight with somebody who does, it ain't
Yeah.
gonna go well for
You're
you. You
losing
can
every time.
ignore all your
Yeah.
muscles and all your big
Yeah.
shit. Like,
so the
you're
nice
going-
thing, a lot
you're
of those
going night-night.
guys aren't into fights. So I saw this guy at a baseball game, and he had like a jiu-jitsu shirt on, and it was a Gracie shirt, and I was like, hey man, that's a cool shirt. He's like, oh thanks brother, and I was like, what's it like walking around just knowing you can like.
So never fought a day in my life.
Yeah.
Just a big
So
fan of the
he
shirt.
said the most MMA jiu-jitsu thing ever. He goes, you know, I'm undefeated in fights I don't get into. I was like, shut up, man. Stop going. No.
I also meditate 2 hours
I know, dude. Oh, bro,
Going real
bro.
Bruce Lee with the whole situation.
But I mean, but he's 100%. Well, no, because when they get into those trainings, like they can legitimately hurt people.
Oh hell yeah, of
So
course.
yeah, they're not. That's not their first option. When you see like an MMA fighter in the news for fighting somebody at a bar, that person had pushed the limits.
Oh, for sure.
Like if you
For
talk to
sure.
somebody, like I
Yeah.
could probably fuck you up,
Yeah.
and they're like, you can't.
Yeah, no.
And I'd be
All
like,
those guys
I would
know
take a
you
step back and
don't
be
want
like,
to get in a fight.
you're probably right. Well said, sir.
If you got some little beanpole talking to you with that level of confidence, like just take your lumps and get the fuck out of there because
So,
it ain't gonna end well for
Bo
you, brother.
Nickel is like the big thing in MMA right now. Yeah,
Big
I
Bo
see
Nickel
he
fan.
does
Hell
talk
yeah.
about it.
Hell yeah.
He tells this great story, and he was just like, "Yeah, I was at a bar. This guy was like eyeing me, and he was like, oh, it's gonna go down. It's gonna be glorious." And the guy came up to me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm a big fan." He's like, "Ah, damn it." Can I get a picture with you? He's like, "Yeah, sure." He's not sure. He's like, all this training, man, it's gonna culminate. He's 5-0 now. He's fantastic.
So good. It's future superstar.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing I worry about. So like Khabib was undefeated, right? The thing I worry about, there's always somebody who can just catch you on a bad day.
Yeah, it's always a thing, and
styles make fights. Like even the best of the best. Like you get somebody that's got a little bit of an unorthodox style that you're not used to, and you get caught one punch, and you're fucking roasted.
I remember when it was Tony Ferguson's thing. We grew up with Tony Ferguson.
What?
Yeah.
Like, he grew up right across the street.
Yeah.
He did not.
Yeah, dude.
No.
He was legitimately one of his best friends. I knew he went to our high school until like 11th grade. Was that when he moved to one of the other high schools because they had a better wrestling program?
Seriously?
Yeah.
I grew up wrestling with Tony in his garage and shit. Yeah.
Okay, don't tell me like, I pinned him like 9 times.
No, he toyed with me like a child.
No, so in Kalamazoo, in my age group in Kalamazoo, and I never grew up in Kalamazoo, all these guys are like, yeah, I struck out Jeter. I was like, no, nobody struck him out. Like, oh yeah, man, I remember when Jeter went 0 for 4. I'm like, Jeter never went 0 for 4 in high school. Like, there's no way. Like, this guy was a Yankee captain at the age of 19. You're telling me you struck him out.
I mean, I did, but most people didn't. Yeah, to be clear.
But it's funny because there's so many people who like were around when he was there, and they're all kind of my age or a little bit older, and they all have that Derek Jeter story.
Right, I know.
But it is kind of neat to know somebody who's made it to the main stage. I had no idea he was from Michigan, let alone Fruitport.
Yeah.
Where did he go to his senior year?
Muskegon Community College. Or no, I'm sorry,
Catholic
the
Central.
C Catholic Central.
Both MCCs. I can understand why he did that.
Yeah, he went to Fruitport with us for a long time and then transferred to MCC, who had better everything program.
Yeah, way
It was
better
a
like
private
wrestling program.
Can I
religious
say
school.
Michigan does not? Okay, this may be controversial. Michigan does not do state championships well.
No, is that a
You should
thing?
In
not
what- in
have
what way?
4 state champions at one single weight class.
I don't know what you're
Because
talking about.
it's done by
'Cause
it's done by districts.
Yeah, by classes.
Yeah. Class A, Class AA, Class A,
yeah,
Class
yeah,
B,
yeah.
Class
That's
C,
what you mean.
Class
I
D.
get you. Yeah,
so you have
yeah.
5 separate state champions in one weight class.
Agreed. So there should be subdivisions, right? Like to get to that point, because there's something to be said for it, and inherently, like a bigger school likely is going to have more funding to get better coaches, etc. So there are levels within levels, and it's cool if you want to have individual champions for different class size schools up to a point, but then you should have an ultimate showdown.
Yeah, you don't have a
style,
true
for sure,
single
yep.
state. So when I started working here, everyone's like, "Yeah, I'm a state champ in wrestling." I was like, "Oh, okay." And this other guy's like, "I'm also a state champ." And this other guy's, "Well, I'm a state champ." I'm like, "Jesus,
Yeah, right.
dude, I'm working with those badass people."
Everybody
ever."
that was in wrestling was a state champ. What the hell?
So, dude, quick story.
Yeah.
This other kid, so Fruitport was a pretty big wrestling school back in the day, and there's
Yeah.
this cat named Matt Brink, who was a
Yeah.
heavyweight wrestler. He was a senior when I was a freshman, I want to say, or maybe he had graduated the year before.
They were out, yeah.
But he lost, I think, one match in high school. The kid was absolutely dominant. So we went to see the Big Ten championships. Matt Brink ultimately went on to wrestle for Michigan.
Oh wow.
And he was wrestling for the national championship at heavyweight versus a kid from Minnesota named Brock fucking Lesnar.
Whoa.
And we watched Brock Lesnar. He was a couple years older than us because I was in
Yeah.
8th grade, I think, when we went to see this.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar, and Matt Brink was a big man. He lost
Yeah.
one time in high school. And it doesn't matter what class, what high school, like if you lose one time in wrestling in high school, you're a fucking man-child.
Yeah.
And Brock Lesnar gets out there all roided up to the gills, to be clear, right? This kid was fucking dripping juice out of him.
Dude,
but he just
when
tossed
hears
him
this
around
episode,
like
you're
a
in trouble.
fucking...
You're in deep shit.
He's going on the pod next week.
just ragdolled him, right? Brock Lesnar is a fucking beast among men,
Oh, dude, look at that. Wow.
Is that... Oh, jeez.
That's
Soak
Lesnar.
him in a little bit, dude. He's such a monster.
Yeah. Jesus.
Dude.
Drink him in, dude.
Wow.
Come on. Come
Oh
the
my
fuck on a little bit.
Wow.
That's probably against Matt Brink. It's somebody
Yeah.
from Michigan right there. This might have been the actual match.
Did
yeah,
you pull that up? Yeah.
fucking intense, dude.
So in New York, it goes by, they divide the entire state into sections. And so section 1, section 2, section 3, all the way, I never made it to section, I sucked at wrestling. But I wrestled my years in high school, and we were section 2. So in order to get to section 2, you had to win your suburban council championships. So it doesn't matter how big your school is, how small your school is, you have to win your division, for us it was suburban council. You had to win the top 3 placers at suburban council went to sectionals. And if you won sectionals, you got to wrestle in the state tournament. If you got runner-up, you got to practice at sectionals in case the first person gets hurt.
Yep.
And so, but that was it. You brought one person per section, that section of the state, and then you got put into this ultimate.
That's probably the way to do it, yeah.
Well, and so one of the best wrestlers, he won a state championship, I think, in the 7th grade, which was huge at 92 pounds, right? And so he wrestled varsity as a 6th grader, won his state championship as a 7th grader, was runner up all the way up to his senior year, and won his 2nd state title.
Wow.
Yeah, he went on to wrestle at Princeton. Greg Parker, great guy. Went on to wrestle at Princeton. He was the first Princeton wrestler ever to make the finals.
Damn, that's
Yeah.
impressive, man.
He won his last state title at 119. Guess what he wrestled at Princeton? What weight division?
40?
172. Wow. Dude, he looked so yoked when he was in, like, he grew like 7 inches after graduating. And like, he was always such a small, like, I say small, but he was just an elite wrestler. And it was fun to watch his matches. Because he would throw one leg in, and he would just wait for somebody to make a mistake. And it was just like, when he wrestled another very technical wrestler, it was like 2-1. Like, he wasn't a home run hitter. He wasn't pinning anyone. He was so technically refined. he was just amazing. And then his brother, who was I think like 18 years younger than him, he also went on to that was like a I didn't say that because I know the family, but like their whole basement was converted into a wrestling room. So like their dad was a big time national wrestler, and so
that was Ferguson was kind of like that too, right? He had the whole barn out there.
This was our buddy Swatson's dad, man. He took silver at the Pan Am Games. Also invented his own move called the Swanee. Let the guy take his leg and did the whole thing. But wrestling's no joke, man. If you're a legit wrestler in high school, you're fucking. There is no actual pro wrestling, right? There's WWE or whatever, but the actual sport of wrestling, it's Olympics, and that's about it.
Not even anymore, right? Aren't they getting rid of it? Or
I think they already did. So if you're top of the food chain in high school, like you're a bad
the
fucking
craziest thing, because like the literal Olympics were based on wrestling.
It was one of the first.
It was like 8 events. Yeah,
you'd get fucking naked, you'd go out there and fucking wrestle a man down.
Grease up.
Grease up.
Fucking ring.
We're gonna do that in the pool later.
That's fucking.
No, it was awesome, man. I love wrestling. I probably shouldn't have done it. I was not good.
Nor was I, to be clear.
Like, I went to Boston University wrestling camp, and like I had to wrestle a 4-time Jersey state champion. Not good. No chance, bro. Oh my God, I've never had my head hit the mat that many times, and he wasn't trying. Yeah. I was like, this is dumb.
It was Mike the Situation.
No, it wasn't him. No, this dude was like legit. Now, we're wrestling everybody, and someone's like, "You know who that is?" I was like, "No." He's about to know who I am. He does not know who I am. I did not make an impression at all.
Great. I'm sure we're trying to wrap up. One last quick thing.
Whatever, it's fun.
Maybe two of the best scenes in movie history were in the movie Rushmore, which I didn't like. I don't like Wes Anderson. I should like Wes Anderson. I love center cut shots.
Was that guy from Scream?
That's Wes Craven.
Ah, damn it.
Wes Anderson, Wes Anderson's like Royal Tenenbaums, all that shit.
He's like the indie rock of filmmaking.
Exactly.
Okay.
But Rushmore with Bill Murray, one of my favorites ever, Jason Schwartzman, who I also fucking love.
Rushmore. I thought that was good.
There's a scene where Jason Schwartzman's on the wrestling team, and he walks out there. He's like, "Yeah, I'm on the wrestling team." And he goes out, and the ref goes, "All right, shake hands." Tweet! And then he just gets pinned. I don't know. You kind of have to see it.
Immediately pinned.
Kind of had to be there. A lot funnier if you actually see the movie. I digress.
Indeed. All right, so I guess we are trying to wrap up then.
I don't know yet. You got a staunch 2-hour mark. I'm happy.
I got a staunch.
Pretty staunch.
Yeah. All right, well, let's do the thing then. What's fucking going on with you? You got shows coming up at all? Are you performing anywhere?
I'm actually, I'm starting to book out. So tomorrow, so after this airs, I'll be in South Haven.
Right,
But then, we're hitting the road. We're going over to Max over in Lansing, which is always a great mic to go to. If you ever get a chance, you got to see Carl Sobel's show. At River City Street Saloon or something like that.
River City Saloon or something?
Yeah. He has some
here, right? In Grand Rapids.
It's an open mic, but
the
people on that show are bona fide headliners and features and
nice.
Everyone.
Are we talking like Dangerville news segment funny or where in the...
Oh, way less than that.
Yeah.
There's no way it's as funny as that.
One would assume.
Yeah, I would say it's on par. But so I always try to catch that mic. You can catch all like brewery Otre in Kalamazoo.
Okay. Heard that's a big new one.
Great open mic on Friday nights. Sammy McCrory, great host. She is fantastic. And so we also have Tin Can Comedy, which is every Wednesday down there. That show's popping off. That's kind of an off the rails show. Like it's like no holds barred.
Nice. Love that. That's where it's at.
Yeah. That's where you cut your teeth, right? And then, of course, there's just so many shows. There's Crawl Space Theater is doing some shows down there. And so Slaptail Nation is doing a great job bringing shows back to Kalamazoo. So you You can see me in and around there. I always ask folks to, follow my socials. That's where I put all my stuff on.
Yeah, where are you at, on Facebook or
Yeah, I'm on
Insta,
Facebook.
or like what's the hub?
Yeah, so Instagram and TikTok. Actually, I'm a TikToker.
You TikToking now?
I am TikTok, and I got about 14,300 followers.
Yeah.
So,
Damn, dude, nice.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I had one video go viral because I'm fat, so that was cool.
Yeah. And what's your OnlyFans account?
Yeah, dadbods.com. Chubby but still flirty.
Well, we're putting him on foot fighter.
Only foot fighter, yeah.
Insisting on not wearing shoes during the podcast.
Yeah, so I wore sandals over, so I'm also barefoot.
Also,
that's where it's at.
I'm outnumbered. All right, I'm taking it off.
Come on.
Yeah, so my socials is CGM Comedy, so it stands for Chubby Guy Mafia Comedy.
Nice,
After one
nice.
of my favorite jokes.
Yeah.
So I have that on my Instagram, and it's just David Steves on the Facebooks.
Right.
It is weird about comedy. So you have a lot of people reach out to you, other comics that I've never met before, and because I do post pictures of my kids and stuff, I have to meet somebody before I add them onto my Facebook. But I throw a lot on my TikTok, especially show banners and stuff. July 6th, I get to work with the great Annie Beningo again. One of my favorite comics. He's a clean comic. We're going to be at Coral Gables in Saugatuck. So get your tickets now.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful venue. Coral Gables right there on the water. It's gorgeous. And
Nice.
yeah, I've been able to go there. But I do that about once or twice a year. So I'm really excited for that.
Sick,
you know,
man.
just trying
Yeah.
to break into that next tier. You know,
All right.
that's what it's all about. I feel like I'm a good feature. I'm a solid feature.
Nice.
I've been
Gotta
able to
suck a
headline
lot
little
of
bit.
dicks to get up to that
Yeah,
the next
yeah,
level, man. So
yeah.
get
You just gotta be
that
funny.
jaw strength in
You
you.
just got to be funny.
Oh shit, we've been doing it the wrong way fucking time here.
Yeah, I mean,
Brooklyn tall ass backwards.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I appreciate the chapstick and the amount that you have on, to be honest with you. But yeah, you're sucking my dick. You're not. Yeah, that's not gonna get you anywhere.
You're not funny.
No, but I mean, you gotta be funny. You gotta put in the work, and you gotta be available to take those shows. So I have a limited amount of time that I can dedicate to comedy.
Yeah.
I have another job that takes quite a bit of time, but
Sure.
which is okay. And I did it as a hobby to kind of. I got into comedy after getting divorced. And so I needed a creative outlet. I went from having my kids 100% of the time to 50% of the time. And it was I was going through some like dangerous habits, like drinking and talking on podcasts.
Yeah.
No, but like I needed an outlet, and I never thought comedy would be that for me, but it got me through some pretty troubling times. And
Nice.
the community is super supportive and just wonderful people. We're all just trying to tell a story. We're
Right.
just making. When I got that first laugh at that first open mic I ever did, like I don't know, it's so euphoric. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I as a stranger made them connect to my story, and they thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like,
I'll
you just
never
keep
forget my
chasing that.
first Brendan Fraser whale joke.
Yeah.
I mean, just there's a certain intoxication to that
Yes.
feeling of just crushing it with a hilarious joke that you retell in marginally different ways, time after
30
time.
episodes
So
in
yeah.
a row.
And just keep retweaking it. Yeah. No, but I mean, and that's the beauty of comedy. So I can't wait to see you guys on stage.
Rest assured, we're gonna be hilarious, my friend.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
I want to see it.
We're already headlining.
It's gonna be quite
fine.
breathtaking.
Don't worry about it. It's fine. I'm at the Apollo Theater coming up this weekend. I hear it's an easy crowd. I'm not worried about it.
Yeah, but it's so funny. Just when you think you get you start to get some traction. So after COVID, I got to feature at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. I was really excited about that. I haven't been back since. So I was like, I thought it was so good.
Sending that follow-up email. Oh, excuse me, sir.
Well, it's funny, the person who books it, I've been on shows with them, and unprompted has been like, oh my gosh, you crushed tonight. I got to get you back. And I'm like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
No, literally, just tell me when.
Contact info's still the same. Not change my number or anything.
Oh, I lost your number. Oh, sorry, man.
But I think it just goes to show the level of comedy in Michigan.
Yeah.
When you think about, they always say in comedy, you go out to LA to get famous, you go to New York to get good, but nobody ever talks about the Midwest and so many opportunities, and there's so many great comics.
Yeah.
So do yourself a favor and go to a local show.
Yeah, for sure,
Support
man.
local.
For sure.
Support local comedy. Support Dr. Grins is great. They do a lot of great
Every
stuff
time
for
I'm going,
comics.
it's always hilarious. It doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter who's playing. That's the thing. It's it's gonna be funny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so Mark Norman's coming. So I made a bad joke on the Kalamazoo State Theater page. So they like announced Mark Norman. I was like, oh, who's this guy? And then they like posted his bio, and in a response, I was like, I was kidding. My bad.
Norman's the man. It's hilarious.
Oh my
hilarious.
gosh, he's so funny. Taylor Tomlinson.
She's great too.
Gosh, her Quarter Life Crisis on Netflix.
I haven't caught
I could
that.
watch that.
Doesn't she have?
over and
She's
over
gonna
again.
do some late
Night.
show after.
Oh, good for her. Yeah, I think I did hear
Colbert,
that.
I believe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice,
she's
good for her.
fantastic.
Yeah,
I
it's
did
funny.
catch the real quick the Neil Brennan special. Did you guys watch that? I texted you guys.
Yes,
about it.
I did.
I thought it was fucking hilarious. I liked it. His last two were cool. There was kind of an angle on those, his mental health shtick and all this whatever. The new one is that he literally starts. He's like, "Yeah, the last two specials were about my mental health because I hate to disappoint, but I'm feeling pretty good."
Yeah.
He just does. It's just a straight up stand up special. It's really funny. I liked it a lot.
I would be remiss to not point out the douchiness of Neil Brennan calling people out about talking about their trauma when the guy has literally made his entire career
He
of
did-
talking
he-
about
he's
being
doing that?
sad.
Really?
It was the first thing he opened with. Which, in fairness, the whole trauma thing, yes, overplayed.
Yeah.
We get it. You don't have trauma.
I know, you're depressed. We
Waiting
get
an
it,
extra
yeah.
5 minutes for your double macchiato fucking latte that made you late for yoga class. Like, fuck off. It's not real trauma. But yeah, I was thrilled to not hear Neil Brennan do 45 minutes about how he's sad. So that was
that's what I'm saying.
an
Yes.
encouraging turn of events.
Turns out talking about how you're sad, not the best thing for a comedy show.
Yeah, no, I bombed doing that once.
Yeah.
So let me tell you about my divorce. This is hilarious.
My dog died.
But it's so funny because when you start doing comedy, like I had to stop watching specials because you'll pick up mannerisms, you'll pick up pacing, or these little, because you look at it and you're like, oh, people laugh at that.
Yeah.
And you like, I subconsciously would pick things up,
Right.
and then somebody would be like, oh man, I love that delivery. It was kind of like this person. I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Like, I love Shane Gillis.
Yeah.
I have to stop watching Shane Gillis.
My favorite right
Oh,
now.
he's incredible,
I think
right?
he's about everybody's favorite.
He's so
It's
good.
funny.
That new Shane Gillis
Yeah.
special. Fuck, man.
That
I-
was
I ran
you
a
remind
joke
me a lot
about
of
this.
Chris Farley. You're like,
Fuck. Dude, the guy,
on the treadmill the next fucking morning.
I'm so pissed. So they're doing a Chris Farley biopic.
I know, some dude from Grand Rapids is playing him.
No
That
shit.
dude gets enough play. I
don't even
think
know
we
who that
should
guy is.
recast it. He's from Cobra Kai. He plays the
I never watched it, but
1994 cop who got accused of the bombing. He's in
that
everything.
guy.
That guy's in everything, right?
Yeah.
He plays like the slow guy. Well, like the guy who didn't have an IEP at school, but they pushed him through high school anyway, kind of thing.
So what, you think you should get the Farley role? Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so we back when M89 was a standing building and not bulldozed, we did a dead comic show there, which was awesome. And so my buddy John, is so funny because he had John Batch. He had to play Patrick Swayze, so he had to go on like this insane cut. He was going to the gym every day. I had to play Chris Farley. I was like, I don't have to do anything.
In fact, I have to get fatter.
I may have gained a few pounds. And we did the Chippendales skit from Saturday Night Live. And I tell you what, it was so much fun to play Chris Farley.
Yeah.
And then I was in a small movie. I had a very small part in a very small movie, but the director was like, hey man, you remind me a lot of Chris Farley. You know, the energy and just the chubby guy funniness. And so that movie is actually out. It has a lot of Grand Rapids comics in it. David Stowers, Danny Redwine, so many great people in it. And it's called Thanksgiving Roast 2. That's been confused with Thanksgiving Roast 1. But it's so funny because they were shooting
this is not a porn?
No.
Oh.
So that's Thanksgiving Spit Roast. That's an entirely different movie.
Yeah, so they needed extras, to go hang out, and Devron Thomas is in it too. And so I was in Kalamazoo, they were shooting it, and I got a call from Danny. She's like, what are you doing? And I was like, it's Sunday, I'm just going to do laundry, hang out. She's like, hey, do you want to be an extra in this movie? I was like, sure. And because a lot of their extras, kind of bailed out, they gave us, they were like, hey, come up with your own script. The hardest thing, I've never been in a movie before. The hardest thing was they take so many different angle shots of you.
Yeah, you got to keep doing the same thing over and over.
So we didn't have a script. We just came up with our lines on the fly.
Right.
And then whatever we came up with, we had to remember.
Remember what the fuck you
and
said.
then keep doing it over and over.
Generally, the script is locked in before you start shooting. That's typically how
well, and the
movies
guy
are made.
the director's so cool, and he was just like, hey, you guys are comics, just say something funny.
Right.
So we're like, oh, all right.
You're a musician, just play some stuff. Make it up on the fly. It'll be fine.
It's like free bird. Right? How many times you got that at a bar? Play some free
Too many.
bird. Yeah.
Every time. We actually get that on the podcast.
Indeed.
No.
Beat up from the corner.
Beat up. We'll be bombing over here trying to do news jokes and whatever. This is Freebird all the fucking time.
Free bird. No, but like, so comedy is a wild ride, man. Like, I never thought it would, and now I get paid to tell jokes, which is kind of cool.
Fuck yeah, man.
Pretty dope.
I mean,
Good
not
for
a
you,
lot of
bro.
money, but it's money.
Yeah. Are you playing in GR coming up anytime soon then?
Oh, gosh, now we're coming into softball season. So my Sundays are now
that takes
taking up with
precedent.
softball.
Yeah, baby.
I have a hard time saying no to anybody.
Well,
but
you
like
came and did this fucking thing. So.
yeah, I don't have my kids tonight, so. But yeah,
Fuck, these fucking assholes want me to come on and do this fucking thing.
yeah, so Grand Rapids is tough for me. Just it is 45 minutes away, and it's
at least an hour. I think of it as an hour away, dude.
Yeah, so it's just I don't have anything currently coming up in Grand Rapids, but if you follow me on my socials, I'll post. I'll post
Get your
those
ass down to
postings.
Kalamazoo, son. Go ahead. And
I can come that way. I know. I can come that way.
Highway goes both ways.
Yeah, it does.
Well, and there's a great comedy spot now. Brandon Alberta and Steve Madol, who have their own podcast as well. They have a spot at McDuff's and Wayland, which is a perfect spot in between Grand Rapids and Kalamazoo. So they're doing comedy out there now. It's always on the weeks where I have my kids, so I haven't been able to go to it.
Right.
But I got to do a really cool show in Wayland this summer, and that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
It was outdoors. Like we were in this like trailer, and like the crowd was so cool. And I mean, those are the moments when you just hit your stride, you feel good, and you connect with the audience, and it's just it's a blast. My favorite part is when the audience, when they come up to you and they're like, "Could we get a picture with you?" I'm like, I'm sorry.
Your favorite part is going, no.
Yeah.
I'm just here trying to do my thing,
I'm like, yeah, of course. And I'm like thinking back, like 2 weeks later, they'd be like, who the fuck is this guy? Who the hell is this guy?
I don't know, man. I was pretty hammered.
Like, I was really drunk. I thought that was Chris Farley. Crazy. Oh my God, I can't believe it. It's Chris Farley back. Yeah, so comedy's a beautiful thing. I'm so glad you guys are talking about it, and thanks for giving us an opportunity to come out here and chat. You guys have a wonderful setup. This is
Thanks,
really
man.
Thanks,
Thank
man.
you.
Appreciate you coming out. It's super funny for sure.
All right, let's wrap this bitch up. Thanks for coming.
Let's do it.
Follow this guy online. We'll catch you all next time. Peace, bitches.
Peace.
Later.